Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are a nation in decline.
Experts are preparing for what is known as Disease X, or the next pandemic.
What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Vince Taglavia. Today we're going to be watching Trump live. JD Vance is live now. We're going to cut to that. Please follow me, turn on your notifications, subscribe, like, and join in on the live comments. We're going to watch Trump and everything else. And we're going to switch over right to this, and then we're going to talk about other breaking news, and it's going to be a great time. So thank you all for being here. Without further ado, let's listen to JD Vance.
In China. Donald Trump wants to lower taxes for hardworking families. In fact, he already did it, and we want to reward companies that hire American and buy American. It's all about protecting the workers of this country. Kamala Harris wants to defund the police and let violent criminals out of jail. Donald Trump wants to lock up the bad guys and back the blue, and he did it for 4 years. He's going to do it again. So I want to send a message out there to those who are struggling, those who are trying to make ends meet. If you're scraping by instead of thriving, I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to choose between paying off the credit card or buying groceries. I know what it's like to watch families fall apart under financial stress. I know what it's like to worry that a parent will never kick that habit, and I know what it's like to worry that that habit is going to eventually claim their lives. But I also know that our national motto is "In God We Trust," and God tells us not to despair, but to hope. Hope. And while the media likes to lie about this movement and this party, this movement of ours is about a simple idea. We love this country enough that we will never give up hope, and we will never stop fighting for a better future for everybody, whether they vote for us or not. If you're an American citizen, we love you, and we're going to fight for you. Now, we know that in this election, the best way to give our people hope for the future is to re-elect the guy who already did it and did it very well, Donald J. Trump, the once and future president of the United States. In just a few months, I believe this state of Georgia is going to lead a great American restoration, a restoration of safety, of prosperity, and yes, of hope. We're going to secure our borders. We're going to kick out the drugs and the illegal immigrants. We're going to rebuild American manufacturing. We're going to bring jobs back to this country, and we are going to buy American, for our people. It's going to start in Georgia. God bless you all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to be your next vice president, and we're going to win Georgia and win this country. I love you all. Thank you so much for having me.
JD Vance there with his tail end of his speech in Georgia live. We're waiting for President Trump to come up here shortly, and we will cut to that as soon as he's there. Thank you all for joining. JD Vance in Georgia saying that he says in just a few months he believes the state of Georgia is going to lead a great American restoration, and he talks about being for America and that Georgia is going to help lead the way in that. Welcome, everybody. My name is Vince. We're going to be covering Trump live, other relevant news from finance, politics, war watch. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about all the stuff going on lately, as well as the Secret Service update information there. And it's going to be a good time. So we're going to catch up on all the latest news and anything breaking at the same time. I'm keeping my eye here on this live stream, waiting for Trump. What's happened here? If we cut out an audio, oh wait, that's weird. I think, I guess, oh yeah. So I guess they're having technical difficulties over there. So that's on their end. I'm waiting for Trump to go live. I may have to pull up a second stream if they're having audio issues. Let me see. I got to prepare this because I don't want to miss Trump live. Sue says she doesn't care for Vance. Yeah, a lot of people seem not to be too big of fans of Vance, and that's okay. You know, I think no matter who the nominee is or was for vice president, that there's a lot of downs. I don't know who would be better out of the proposed options. What do you think? Who would be better than Vance? I'm not particularly enthused or not either way. I'm kind of just watching this all unfold. But nonetheless, I hear that a lot, Sue. Oh, great. Well, hopefully they get their sound fixed because it seems everywhere is having issues with the rally sound. Imagine that. There's, that's how live events go, I suppose. But we're waiting for Trump to go live in Atlanta, Georgia. And we will cover other news until then. Trump did put out a video message saying that he just landed. Let's watch that. It's pretty cool. So let's hear the message from Trump from just a little while ago on his message as we wait for him to give us his live speech. Here he is.
I just landed in Atlanta. We're going to have a tremendous roundtable with some of the really good business people and the leaders of the area. We're going to find out what's making it tick, some of the things that are going bad and some of the things that are going good. And then I'm going over to the arena. We have a tremendous crowd of people. We're going to do a rally. It'll be on in a little while. I look forward to seeing everybody. It's really festive. They have tens of thousands of people. It's incredible. These rallies are they're very special. Never happened before. There's never been anything like this before. We want to take our country back. We want to make America great again. That's what's going to happen. Thank you.
There we go. A message from President Trump from his jet as we wait for him to take the stage and go live. They're having technical difficulties. Their sound is not on. Trump is not live yet, so as soon as he is, we'll cut to that. Hopefully they can resolve their sound issues. But as of now, we are just waiting, and we're going to review some news until then. If anybody has a stream that does have sound, let me know, but all of the sources that I have do not have sound. So, although we'll have to just wait and see. They're probably working on it, so they should resolve this. All right, onward. The crowd size is pretty remarkable from this Georgia rally today. August 3rd, 2024. Here we go. The real political savvy on X says this is what they will not show you. And here's the crowd today. And it's pretty massive. And there you go. So we're just waiting for Trump to come up, guys. Thank you for joining me. Please take the time and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so when I do go live, you'll be notified and you can join in these live streams of breaking news, whether Kamala's speaking, KJP, Donald Trump, or other breaking news around the world or in the U.S. is happening. I'll go live at different times. So turn on your notifications so you can join in when you're available and share this out. Share this out so other people can find it as well. And that does a tremendous amount to support these shows and everything I do on these channels, on YouTube, etc. Thank you all. Let me go check these chats real quick. Thank you for tuning in and other places as well. I appreciate it. Let's check in on here. Still no sound at the Trump rally. We're waiting for them to fix this. It seems to be an issue on their end here. So stand by on that. Here is more footage of the crowds outside this event in Georgia today. We'll take a quick look at that as we wait for them to resolve their issue and Trump takes the stage. I'm sure he's going to wait until they've resolved this issue. But here is the crowd again. Very excited. Cheers. And just panning across. A lot of people there getting ready. What? That looks like the Olympics. Why is there an Olympic symbol there? Is this like the wrong video? Let me just double check. That seems weird. Georgians are ready to make America great again. That's weird that they have that. That's weird, huh? But yeah, apparently this is from Georgia. Very strange. Where are they? Georgia. Atlanta. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, we've got other news we could talk about until this goes live. Let's see. Everybody is saying no sound, no sound, no sound. So we're waiting. Hopefully they resolve this. All right, let's head over to what we've heard from Trump lately. Trump made some allegations about Mark Zuckerberg, which was really interesting on Fox. Check this clip out. This is pretty remarkable. And as soon as the sound kicks on, we're going to hear it. So prepare. We're waiting for Trump. They're having technical difficulties, running a little behind schedule, but that's okay. There's plenty of things to cover here. Check out this clip from Fox News.
Said that the picture wasn't altered. At first they said it was altered, and then they said no, it was a bug, it was a mistake. So my point is these companies would not allow any information out about what happened.
So Mark Zuckerberg called me. First of all, he called me a few times. He called me after the event, and he said that was really amazing. It was very brave, and and he actually announced he's not going to support a Democrat because he can't, because he respected me for what I did that day. I think what I did maybe was to me, it was a normal response. But I was called by Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, the day before, on this same subject, and he actually apologized. He said they made a mistake, et cetera, and they're correcting the mistake. Google, nobody called from Google. One of the things, like doing a show like yours, your show, you see it on Fox, but where you really see it is all over the place. They take clips of your show that you're doing right now with me, and if I do a good job, they're going to vote for me. They're going to vote for me because it's not just on Fox. It's on Fox is a smaller part of it. You're on all over those little beautiful cell phones. You're all over the place. You have a product. You have a great product. You have a great brand. So you have to get out. You have to get out. You have to do things like your show and other shows. And Google has been very bad. They've been very irresponsible. And I have a feeling that Google is going to be close to shut down because I don't think Congress is going to take it. I really don't think so. Google has to be careful. Now, I will say this. I believe Mark Zuckerberg. He called me a lot. They are working, and I think they fixed it.
But what?
And he's not doing what he did 4 years ago with the 500.
Wow. So, yeah, that's right. Trump said Mark Zuckerberg called him after the assassination attempt, and he won't be trying to help Democrats win in 2024 like he did in 2020, according to Trump, which is really interesting. The way the media spun this was actually kind of deceptive because they were saying that Mark Zuckerberg apologized. It made it sound like Mark Zuckerberg apologized for the assassination attempt itself, but I don't think that's the case. I think it was different. Anyway, that happened, which is pretty interesting, to say the least. We're having technical difficulties. We are not, but Trump is having technical difficulties. The Trump rally people do not have sound. As soon as JD Vance finished his speech, the sound cut out from their feeds. So we're waiting for this to be resolved and Trump to take the stage in Atlanta, Georgia, live. And yeah, so this is kind of odd. I wonder if it's a thing happening there or if it's something in the internet, on the internet, as far as the cause of the sound issue. I don't know, but it's pretty, I mean, I don't think I remember this ever happening, really. Maybe with individual newscasts, I've seen it happen, But let me turn over real quick and check other sources, because I'm just looking from Donald Trump's. Let's see if everyone else is having this issue that's reporting this live, because I don't want to miss this. Worst case scenario, we'll figure this out. But we'll keep our eye on it, y'all. We've got more news to talk about as we wait for Trump to take the stage in Atlanta, Georgia. So let's do that. Let's go to Trump's Truth Social and catch up there, because there's some interesting stuff unfolding over there, to say the least. And we have more to talk about, guys. We're going to talk about the Secret Service. We're going to talk about Biden, Kamala. We're going to talk about war. We're going to talk about other things as well. So stay tuned. Live TV is having sound issues. Thank you so much, Beck, for that update. It's not just me. It seems like it's coming from the source. So we'll stand by. Hopefully they resolve it soon. In the meantime, please make sure you're subscribed wherever you are and share this out. Turn on notifications on X and on YouTube for other live streams. They could be anytime, usually during the day, but you never know with the news that's breaking these days. It could be anytime. So turn on the notifications, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. Let's go to Trump's Truth Social, where we can see the latest. So Trump's been really putting pressure on Kamala. And let's see. He talked about Brad Raffensperger, and this is what Trump said. Brad Raffensperger has to do his job and make sure this election is not stolen. Brian Kemp should focus his efforts on fighting crime, not fighting unity in the Republican Party. His crime rate in Georgia is terrible. His crime rate in Atlanta is the worst, and his economy is average. He should be seeking unity, not retribution, especially against the man that got him the nomination through endorsement and without whom he could never have beaten Stacey Abrams. He and his wife didn't think he could win. I said, I'm telling you, you're going to win. Then he won. He was happy. And his wife said, thank you, sir. We'll never be able to make it up to you. Now she says she won't endorse me and is going to write in Brian Kemp's name. Well, I don't want her endorsement, and I don't want his. They're the ones who got Fani Willis and her boyfriend all jazzed up and ready to go. He could have ended that travesty with a phone call, but he doesn't want to end it because he's a bad guy. Trump, wow. Interesting. He also goes on saying, think of it. I got this guy elected and he did not want to do what the state Senate wanted on election integrity. He works with Raffensperger. He works with Jeff Duncan. It's all a team. I truly believe they would rather see the Republican Party lose than win. He gave a shout out to Michaela Montgomery, saying, what a speech, a special person with a I'm sorry about that brief interruption. Sue says it's on the Washington Post. If you, are you watching on television, or where is that? Let's see. I'm pulling it up to check if they have audio, because we are going to watch this. Let's see. They do have audio. So as soon as Trump comes up, we'll play that, guys. We're just waiting. Trump has not taken the stage. Thank you, Sue, for that heads up. The feeds going on elsewhere are not giving us sound, but it looks like the Washington Post maybe has people on the ground with separate sound. So we're waiting for Trump to take the stage. So this is good. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Beck. Hey, Sue. Thank you all for joining. And thank you. We got a viewer from Holland. Thank you. Thank you for joining from there and lurking around. Always like your streams. Thank you so much. That's very kind, Dutchin. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll keep my eye on these streams in case you guys want to jump in with any thoughts and whatnot. All right. Onward. We're waiting for Trump, y'all. Stand by. Looks like we found a stream with audio. I hope. maybe not actually. It seems like they're playing different audio over it, but they're having audio issues at the Trump rally. Trump has not taken the stage, but stand by. Hopefully they get it resolved and he'll be there soon. Onward. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to go back to Trump's truth before we get into other news and review what he said as of late. He says, we have to purge the party of people that go against our candidates and make it harder for a popular Republican president to beat the radical left lunatics. Jeff Duncan is a loser who is disintegrating on his own. Congratulations to Josh McCoon for purging our party of misfits and people that don't want to see us succeed. See you soon, Atlanta, Georgia, just a couple hours ago from Trump. Join me live. All right, let's see. I want to get to what he was talking about. Kamala. He posted this meme. Kamala was ranked the most liberal senator, even more radical than Bernie Sanders. Trump posted on X. And Trump has not taken the stage. Everybody stand by. We will cut that as soon as we can. As soon as it's live, we'll watch that together, and then we'll cover more news after that. Anything breaking will pull up. So if you tag me on X, that's a good way to give me a heads up if you see something break. My tag is at the bottom of the screen here. Okay. So I appreciate that, everybody. And please share this out as we get ready to go. Get some more people in the chat to enjoy the show, hear what Trump has to say. Apparently there's beefed up security around the president. Trump, Fox has reported, which is interesting. Lots of security vehicles. So that's good news. We have I apologize here. We're going to go back to Trump here. I need to save this. We're going to talk about finance at the end of this show. And this is important. Anyway, let's go back here. Trump, sign up and join Trump Force 47. This is his official website. Just an ad from Trump. This was an interesting video. Trump posted it 3 hours ago. He wrote this quote: "Does anyone notice that Kamala Harris doesn't do interviews? That's because she's really dumb," Trump writes. Quote, "She's unable to speak properly without a teleprompter. She has an extremely low IQ, and our country doesn't need someone who is unstable to put two sentences together." I'm sorry. He says, our country does not need someone who is unable to put two sentences together. She can't. And besides, we just got finished with that. His name is Sleepy Joe. This is interesting. There's a lot of rumors going around that last night there were a lot of talks about the 25th Amendment, which could potentially be used, if needed, to get Joe Biden out of there and install Kamala as president. Of course, at that point, Mike Johnson would become vice president. It's a theory that many people speculate on, and there are rumors that that's being talked about. Check out this video.
This is just extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
Look at Joe
extraordinary
here.
Testament.
Whoa, what the heck?
Testament to the importance of having
the audio is totally messed up here. I apologize for that. I'm going to mute this and see if I can fix it. That's odd, but I want you guys to look at Joe. I mean, yeah, the audio is totally messed up on this video on Trump's thing, but I'm just going to mute it. Look at Joe here. People are pointing out kind of his demeanor as a concern, but I think I could find that another one of those clips here in a minute, and we'll check it out. But man, we're waiting for Trump, y'all. I'm just checking on this. I don't want to miss it. Looks like they're still having there's something wrong with some of the audio, but we do have audio from the Washington Post. So it's very odd, but we're waiting for Trump, y'all. He is in Atlanta. He has landed, just so you know, and he'll be live as soon as possible, I'm sure. So like I said, Trump was absolutely roasting Kamala Harris. And here's another thing he said this morning, quote, Kamala Harris doesn't have the mental capacity to do real debates against me. Scheduled for September 4th in Pennsylvania, by the way. Yeah, September 4th, Trump will debate Kamala Harris on Fox News with a live audience. So that'll be interesting. Trump said, quote, she's afraid to do it because there's no way she can justify her corrupt and open borders and environmental destruction of our country, the Afghanistan embarrassment, runaway inflation, terrible economy, high interest rates and taxes, and her years-long fight to stop the words, quote unquote, Merry Christmas. Trump said that because a video was going viral of her angry and upset that people were saying Merry Christmas. That's Kamala Harris. And so that's why Trump mentioned that. Trump continues saying, quote, I'll see her on September 4th, or I won't see her at all. She is acknowledged to be the worst vice president in history, which works very nicely against the worst president, crooked Joe Biden. The combination of those two low IQ individuals has destroyed our country, but we will make America great again. Trump said that this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are, regarding Kamala Harris. So yeah, debate is there. Kamala Harris responded to this. All right, we're not going to ignore that fact. Let's look at what Kamala Harris said. She says, I will be there. She said on September 10th. So is this a different debate? Because Kamala Harris, let's go to this. She said, I will be there on September 10th, like he agreed to. I hope to see him there. It's very weird. So here's that tweet from Kamala Harris's personal X account, Kamala Harris. She says, it's interesting how anytime, any place becomes one specific time, one specific place. I'll be there on September 10th, like he agreed to. I hope to see him there. And this is in response to Sahil Kapoor, who alleges that Trump backs out as previously scheduled presidential debate on ABC after Kamala Harris replaces Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket, which, yeah, that's right. There was a virtual vote, and now it's Kamala. This just happened. So I don't know how. This is really odd, but yeah. I thought the convention was at the end of this month. Like, what is going on here? Anyway, Sahil Kapoor said, now he says he'll agree to debate Harris if it's hosted by Fox News in a full arena audience. So it looks like there's some debate and they can't come to an agreement on where and when. And so that's kind of where we're at. Cat Turd replied, are you going to bring twerkers and do the fake accent? Putting pressure on Kamala and in her comments there. That's the number one comment. Oof, yikes. So we'll see. We'll see if the debate happens or not. Trump kind of alluded to it's going to happen or it isn't, but he's ready. He wants Fox. I think he's done. Keep True. I don't like the timing of this confusion. Yeah, Keep True. We're just going to have to stand by and wait to see what happens with the timing of the debates because it looks like they can't come to an agreement and they're going kind of back and forth on the thing. But we'll just have to wait and see, y'all. By the way, Trump has not taken the stage yet in Atlanta. We are standing by. As soon as he does, we're going to cut to that. We're going to watch it together and look at anything else that's breaking along the way, y'all. So thank you for joining. Please follow, like, subscribe, leave your comments down below on what you think of all this political madness, the economy, the wars. JD Vance, you like him? You love him? Don't like him? Is he weird? That's what a lot of people are saying. He's so weird, right? That's what the media narrative is. That very weird. So strange, so weird. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, onward here. Let's go back to Trump. Let's see what else he said. He goes crazy there on Truth. A lot of ads, a lot of memes. All right. Big crowd in Georgia. We're waiting. He says more on the debate. Quote, I have agreed with Fox News to debate Kamala Harris on Wednesday, September 4th. The debate was previously scheduled against Sleepy Joe Biden on ABC, but has been terminated in that Biden will no longer be a participant. And I am in litigation against ABC Network and George Slopadopoulos, thereby creating a conflict of interest. The Fox News debate will be held in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at a site in the area to be determined. The moderators of the debate will be Brett Baer and Martha McCollum, and the rules will be similar to the rules of my debate with Sleepy Joe, who has been treated horribly by his party, but with a full arena audience, Trump says. We'll see. We'll see. Onward. Memes, different things. Let me go back here. See what else Trump has said. Trump wrote last night, quote, "As everyone knows, the Democrats have unconstitutionally taken a candidate who has acknowledged to be defeated and unceremoniously replaced him with a new candidate." Trump goes on saying, quote, "This has never been done before and is a threat to democracy, but I am totally prepared to accept the result of this coup and replace Joe on the debate stage with crazy Kamala Harris. I spent hundreds of millions of dollars, time, and effort fighting Joe, and when I won the debate, they threw a new candidate into the ring. Not fair, but it is what it is. Nevertheless, different candidate or not, their bad policies are the same, and this will be strongly revealed on the September 4th debate. I look forward to meeting and debating Kamala Harris on September 4th. This date is convenient and appropriate in that it is just prior to the September 6th start of early voting in the 2024 presidential election. I look forward to seeing everyone on September 4th in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania." Of course, Kamala doesn't seem like it's happening, and they're kind of blaming each other on not following through on that. Jonathan says, "Knowing Trump, he's going to troll her from the plane to the stage." Oh yeah, I mean, Trump's notorious for that. He even said it himself. It's in my intro, it's in my outro. It's called trolling. We do a little trolling, kind of a famous Trump quote there, right, Jonathan? Yeah, absolutely. Knowing Trump, I think you're right. Thanks again, y'all, for joining. Good to see you, Sue. It's been a while. I hope everything's going well in these crazy, crazy times. It gets tough out there in this world, doesn't it? These are some remarkable times to be alive, folks. And thanks again, Dutch. I'm paying attention to the chats over there. And thank you, Keep True on pilled.net for tuning in. Appreciate you. If you guys are tuning in on X, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe over on YouTube and whatnot as well. And I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all. And make sure you hit the like button while you're here as we wait for President Trump to take the stage. Still waiting. We're still waiting. That's okay. I'm keeping my eye on it. As soon as he gets up there, we will switch over. This is kind of common with live events. Things sometimes go a little longer. That's okay. There's a lot of other breaking news, recent news, etc. to talk about here. So no worries. Right now, we're just looking at what Trump has said recently. Right now, the debate's kind of up in the air. Him and Kamala are going back and forth on when that will be. Presumptively, it's September 4th, but we'll have to just stand by and watch. Like Trump said, either it's going to happen or it won't, but he looks forward to it happening. And he's trolling Kamala big time. All right, let's go back, see what else Trump has said yesterday. No tax on Social Security for seniors. No tax on tips. One of the things Trump is really pushing here. And Donald Trump 20 hours ago said crazy Kamala Harris is not in touch with reality. She thinks Bidenomics is working. Just in a political punch there. And yesterday he was talking about the gag order that he's still under with the New York judge, talking about how it affects his campaign, especially when crazy Kamala Harris is using a witch hunt against me, he says. So onward. That's kind of the latest from Trump there. He did give a bunch of endorsements this week as well. Or he was highlighting the people that he has endorsed succeeding. So that was cool. All right, y'all. Share this out as we wait for Trump to come out. They're playing music to the crowd. I'm going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back, talk about more breaking news. If Trump comes on, the break will end, and we're going to go live with Trump. So stand by. We're going to take a quick couple-minute break, and we'll be back with all the latest, the greatest, the breaking news, etc. So I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and play this this clip here in the meantime. So I'll be back. What did you think when it came across your desk?
It scared the living shit out of me. This information, this forced disclosure, the intelligence community combats them by saying this will break down our society if this information comes out.
You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay. Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
We're back, you guys. Thank you guys for standing by for that moment. We're waiting for Donald Trump to go live in Atlanta, Georgia right now. He has not taken the stage yet. They're playing music to the crowd as we await. Looks like Trump's feed is having sound issues. However, we have a backup feed ready to go. So as soon as he's up and going, we will be live with that. So thank you all for tuning in. Please follow, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. And we're going to talk about some of the news as we get into this. And maybe we could pull up some JD Vance clips, because JD Vance did speak. We watched the tail end of that. He kind of just gave us a little preparation for what's to come here. He flipped the script on the weird narrative here. Let's take a quick look at that as we wait. So let's hear this clip, courtesy of RSBN News. Thank you, RSBN. And this is JD Vance today in Atlanta, Georgia. Check this out as we wait for Trump to take the stage.
And now, Kamala Harris says we're weird. Well, Kamala, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about some things that are weird. We think it's weird that Democrats want to put sexually explicit books in toddlers' libraries. We think it's weird that the far left wants to allow biological males to beat the living crap out of women in boxing.
He's referring to the Olympics and whatnot there. Wow.
We think it's weird for a presidential candidate to bail convicted rapists and murderers out of prison, and that's what Kamala Harris did. And I think it's especially weird when Kamala Harris comes to Atlanta. I believe came here to this arena. Kamala Harris comes to Atlanta and talks with a fake Southern accent, even though she grew up in Canada. You can't make it up. That's pretty weird.
Wow. Kind of snapping back on the weird narrative on Kamala. Interesting. JD Vance today, just a little while ago in Georgia. the weird narrative is interesting that they're going with. Game Tech Politics has been telling us about kind of what is expected in this with this media strategy against JD Vance and Trump, and a part of it is kind of headed towards this weird narrative that we've seen over the last week and getting away from other topics. And Kamala is going to be highlighted as kind of this peacetime president and all these kinds of things he is anticipating based on some information that he has gathered. Let's see here. Do we have any more with JD Vance? He did say Georgia's going to lead the way, etc. People are excited. They're playing some good patriotic music to the crowd right now. They've got who's that Kid Rock playing right now, a huge Trump supporter. So stand by, everybody. We'll be live with Trump here as soon as possible. Maybe they're trying to resolve their sound issue on Trump's live streams before he goes out there, because he's got a lot of people waiting to hear from him. So I'm sure they want to resolve that in order to get as much views as they can on this, and because he has a message for the American people. And actually, in reality, the world watches this. So this is a speech for the world, really. And of course, all the people in Atlanta, Georgia, especially, who are there live to witness this today. Did you guys watch the Kamala Harris rally in Georgia last week or a few days ago? She had a rap star there, and it created a lot of controversy. People accusing them of having to use concerts in tandem with rallies in order to garner large crowds is kind of the thing a lot of people were saying. And I think that's going to be a strategy for Kamala here. Kind of having a concert in tandem with a rally, perhaps, every time, and maybe she'll get somebody that's fairly popular or very popular, like Taylor Swift, to come into a concert. There's a lot of allegations about Kamala too. Somebody put a screenshot out on X. I don't know if it's real or not. It's not confirmed. I haven't personally seen this, and there's no way to 100% confirm it. So this is just speculation and accusations online that Kamala's private messaging people, celebrities, encouraging them, asking for their support and whatnot. So that's kind of an interesting development that I saw yesterday with this, and something that we may hear about in the future if it proves to be true. That's kind of remarkable, especially if they're kind of paying people to come in and support them. But that's just an allegation. Who knows, right? So the truth is out there, though. We will find out. Let's go back. We're going to hear this clip from Trump in case you're just tuning in. He did land in Georgia, and he put this message out on X. So let's go to that, and then we will we'll switch to Trump live as soon as we can here. Here's a message from Trump as we wait.
I just landed in Atlanta. We're going to have a tremendous roundtable with some of the really good business people and the leaders of the area. We're going to find out what's making it tick, some of the things that are going bad and some of the things that are going good. And then I'm going over to the arena. We have a tremendous crowd of people. We're going to do a rally. It'll be on in a little while. I look forward to seeing everybody. It's really festive. They have tens of thousands of people. It's incredible. These rallies are they're very special. Never happened before. There's never been anything like this before. We want to take our country back. We want to make America great again. That's what's going to happen. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Kai. Kai is not a fan of Taylor Swift. That's funny. So there's a message from Trump. We're waiting for him to take the stage, everybody. The crowd is doing the wave and listening to music and all this fun stuff. They're having some technical difficulties with the sound. It looks like on a couple fronts there from the event live. So just stand by. I haven't heard an update on that. I don't know even where to go for an update on their technical glitch there. But hopefully this resolves soon and we can hear from President Trump live in Atlanta. Until then, we're going to talk about news and events that are current and we've got a lot. So thank you for tuning in. Let's jump to that as we wait for Trump here. Kamala Harris says that she's honored to be a Democratic presidential nominee. This just happened. This is just pretty wild stuff. Let's take a quick look at this, you guys. Wow. Kamala. Insider Paper wrote an article on this. And let me, I want to keep my eye on this, so bear with me here. Hopefully Trump's live soon, but check this out. In the meantime, we're going to catch up on the latest. This is from the Insider Paper. Harris says honored to be Democratic presidential nominee. And they write this, quote, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris effectively sealed the Democratic nomination Friday, confirming her remarkable rise to party standard bearer in November's showdown against Republican Donald Trump. Quote, I am honored to be the presumptive Democratic nominee for President of the United States, Harris, 59, said, calling in by phone to a party celebration after securing enough votes from grassroots delegates in a virtual nomination process. That is, people are pointing out, why is this virtual nomination occurring? Isn't the convention in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks? It's just kind of strange. And Trump even mentioned that nothing like this has ever been witnessed, but he's kind of like, whatever. It was Joe Biden, now it's Kamala Harris, and he says same thing, essentially same policies, etc. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. This is pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable unfolding of this process, which seems to be different this year for some reason. Imagine that, y'all. Imagine that. Hi, Kai. Thank you for tuning in. You crack me up. It's good to see you. Sue says weird. I think weird. That's going to be the word of the week. Weird. Yeah. A lot of people called me weird. I got attacked on the internet. You're weird. Okay. It's not very nice, guys, but that's okay. I could be weird. All right, let's see. We're waiting for Trump, guys. So we're going to keep talking about news until then. I'm juggling a lot of things here, producing this and live streaming at the same time because I don't want to miss this. So let me just adjust this stuff in front of me so I don't miss this, and I'm sure you guys don't want to miss it either. Yeah, they're still playing music, and we're waiting for Donald Trump to take the stage in Atlanta, Georgia. Virtual. I'm not sure what you mean, Sue. Something about the virtual nomination. And we have some pretty big things to talk about in this stream, and I wanted to wait till the end, but definitely stay tuned. We're waiting for Trump to speak, and then I'll talk about some of that stuff. If needed, if Trump takes too long, we will jump to that other news, which is huge stuff, in my opinion, and things that we should all be aware about. In the meantime, we're going to continue talking about the latest news and events. If anything breaks, please tag me on X, because I cannot keep is this happening? I just want to do a live stream. Am I back? Testing. I'm just going to drink my water. Sorry, guys. Tag me on X at ReadyF4NE if anything breaks. I apologize for that interruption there. If anything breaks, I'll cover it live here. If you tag me, it puts it on my radar. I'm juggling a lot of things, so that helps me tremendously in case anything breaks. I appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and share this out with a friend or two who might enjoy the show. Repost it on X if you're watching live over there. Shout out to you guys. Yesterday, we had a pretty awesome, successful space on X. X has spaces, if you guys were unaware, where it's anybody could jump in, and you could have a certain number, like a dozen or so speakers, and you guys can discuss topics live. So I've been holding these. It's a lot of fun. And you never know who's going to jump in there. and it's fun. We do specific topics that are very serious and organized, and then we do hangouts as well, where it's a little bit more loose and just no particular topic, but just discussions and hanging out. So go on X and join those things. They're a lot of fun. And if you host spaces, send me an invite and I'll come hang out with you as I'm available. Anyway, yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. We're waiting for Trump to take the stage here still. They're playing music. They're having some technical issues on their end, but I think they're working on resolving it. As soon as they do, we'll switch to Trump. In the meantime, let's jump back to the news. We just talked about Kamala being the official Democrat nominee through a virtual nomination, which was weird. Trump even acknowledged. Anyway, there's also debate between Harris and Trump on when they're going to be debating. Trump is pretty much saying it'll be on the 4th of September and with Fox. However, Kamala doesn't seem like she's on board. We'll see what happens with that. Trump said either we will do it or we won't, essentially. So that's kind of up in the air, but we will see, I suppose, huh? Anyway, onward. Game Tech Politics. He's been talking about a Trojan horse scenario for like over a year, probably well over a year. And he last night says, I figured it out. And this is just, a theory and speculation, but Game Tech, I don't think I've seen him not be ahead of the game yet with his reporting, and his theories are pretty interesting. So this is what Game Tech said last night. Quote, Kamala is the Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is basically something that appears to be good, but turns out to be bad. Game Tech Politics says Kamala is the Trojan horse. I reported a Trojan horse before Vivek Ramaswamy and the other pundits without too much information to go on, so I asked questions because it never made sense to me. Now it does. And he shared a post from July 16th, 2023, where he was talking about people were thinking that Trump was a Trojan horse because there were rumors of a Trojan horse, which then shortly after those rumors came up in 2023, after Game Tech started talking about it, Ramaswamy started talking about it, other people started talking about Trojan horses, even Alex Jones, different people, Trojan horse, Trojan horse, Trojan horse. And people were saying the Trojan horse is Trump, the Trojan horse is this, the Trojan horse is that, the Trojan horse is whatever. There was a lot of different theories. If you look up Trojan horse, you'll see all these different things. Now Game Tech is saying it's Kamala. Basically that the 25th could happen. This is just a theory. Maybe the 25th Amendment happens. Joe Biden is deemed unfit by his own party and the Republican Party to not be fit for president. Kamala then becomes president if that's successful. And the way that she'll be perceived, or the way they would want her to be perceived, is peacetime president, considering the world wars. This is just speculation, guys. She'd be the president that's going to bring peace, the president with the solution for the economy, the president with the solution for the border, the president with the solution for whatever. You name the issue, Kamala has the solution. However, the way Trojan horses are, once they're in, once the foot's in the door, the mask changes, right? So that's the Trojan horse. Maybe, very well, maybe. And so that means, like, basically people will be like, Kamala's got this. Yes, she'll have some support, some amount of support. How much it will be to be determined. But those people, basically with this Trojan horse theory, is that the people that believe this, these solutions from Kamala will be disappointed when there's no follow through, or the opposite occurs, or something like that. That's the theory, the Trojan horse theory right now. This could change. It's just a speculative theory. Let me know what you guys think about the Trojan horse. Have you heard Vivek Ramaswamy talk about it? But it's an interesting one that we've been talking about a little bit here and there. especially with game tech. So maybe turn on your notifications on X, because if Game talks about this, I'm going to jump in his space and listen, and you can follow me in there. And also turn on your notifications for Game Tech Politics. I'll put that here. Let me put that in the chat so you guys, if you're on X, you can follow him. I'll just put it right here. Game Tech Politics at G. Oh, why isn't this working? Apologies. One moment. Here we go. Here we go. Game Tech Politics at GTP Podcast. You could follow him on X. We're waiting for Trump to go live, everybody. If you're just tuning in, you're not late. Trump was supposed to be live an hour ago. They're having technical difficulties over there, though, so we just stand by. As soon as he's live, we'll cover it. My schedule's open tonight. At some point, I should probably eat dinner, but we have plenty of time to watch this, and I could fast a little bit. That's okay. If needed, we could do a commercial break too, and I could grab a snack and I'll bring it to my desk. I won't eat in the mic, I promise. But thank you again for all tuning in. We're going to go back to the news here. This was weird, and I don't know what to make of it, but let me share this with you because you may not be aware that this is happening. Jennifer Lynn Lawrence posted this. She wrote, "My quoted tweet seems a lot more relevant, giving the breaking news about Lloyd Austin tonight. I think Kamala's brother-in-law needs to be immediately investigated." And she put a picture of the CNN breaking news headline that says, quote, "U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin abruptly revokes a plea deal for the alleged mastermind of 9/11, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and his co-conspirators." Earlier, before this happened, there was a story that was huge, and it was that that the Biden administration had come to a plea deal with some of the 9/11 co-conspirators and planners who have been detained since 9/11. So the past over a decade, 2 decades, they've been detained and in Guantanamo, and that basically they were not going to receive the most strict sentence, but instead reached some kind of deal. But then Lloyd Austin went back on that, and Jennifer Lawrence was like, this is a red flag, essentially. And this is what she's posted on the 2nd, yesterday. So out of the blue, she writes, "A plea deal is struck with the 9/11 mastermind and 2 others regarding the role in the worst terror attack in our nation's history. 2 days later, this fact comes to light. What is going on? Our country has been taken over and people are silent." And she posted this article. Clip from this. Taliban lawyer Tony West has a new client, his sister-in-law, Kamala Harris. Taliban lawyer Tony West has a new client, his sister-in-law, Kamala Harris. West said, quote, "American Taliban John Walker Lind was not a terrorist." So it's kind of a weird thing unfolding there. I don't know what is going on there. Free Beacon wrote an article on it. I don't know what to make of it. I'll retweet the link to the story if you're interested to check the whole thing out. It's just odd, huh? That's really something. Really something. Kai says, "Did y'all hear Trump destroyed a bullet with his ear?" You guys, we are waiting for Trump to take the stage. Over at the rally, there's a dude. Let me see if I can show you guys this. There's a dude in the crowd wearing hurry up. There's a dude in the crowd wearing red, white, and blue overalls. Those are cool. I want those. You see him? Oh, come on, pan back. So we're waiting for Trump to take the stage and deliver his speech at the rally in Georgia. This is the crowd live as we wait. They're just listening to music and waiting. There's technical difficulties on their end on some of the streaming that Trump is doing. So I think they're probably trying to resolve that. But stand by. As soon as that's up, we will go live. That's so funny. Those overalls are pretty cool. All right. Onward. We're going to talk about more as we wait for Trump here. All right, let me go here, check my notes. Again, y'all, if anything's breaking, please tag me on X and we will cover it here, or join in on the live chat and let me know, and we could we could check it out. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in live. Keep my eye on the chats here as things go on. Well, we could talk about war. We could talk about the stock market. We could talk about other stuff. This is an interesting one. Let's talk a little bit about technology and sports, okay? And then we'll get into the big stuff later. We're going to start slow, and then we're going to get into it, okay? As we wait for Trump to go live, of course, that's going to be the creme de la creme of this live broadcast. But other than that, we have some other big things to talk about. This is actually pretty big, too. This is a story that concerns me, to say the least. And it's just a very short post on X from Amuse. Maybe we could find more on it, but I saw this morning. Big Brother. The NFL announced this week that all 32 teams will be implementing facial recognition software to verify the identity of everyone at the stadium. What? They're going to be looking at people's biometric data to identify them at these large events. That's really interesting. And of course, we see this technology rolled out already in like China and stuff, and they use it for their social credit system, which is, I don't like it. I don't know about you guys. I think that's kind of a violation of privacy. Personally, I don't want to be identified by an AI system just for like going to a public event or going to a grocery store or walking down the public sidewalk. Who knows where these things can be put? But that's weird. Let's see if we could find more on this. Interesting story. Biometric data. Let's see. Biometric update. Looks like the biometricupdate.com did write an article on this. So it's a credential thing. Let's see. Biometric update writes. It's biometricupdate.com. They said Wicket facial authentication rolling out at all NFL stadiums starting August 8th. This was published July 30th, 2024. And we're waiting for Trump, everybody, so stand by. They're just playing music, hanging out, and cheering. But so let's check this biometric story out. They wrote, biometric credentialing for IAM aims to clamp down on fake credentials. So that's the reason, is fake credentials. I don't know if I totally believe that. Let's read. They said, quote, if last year's express entry facial authentication pilot at select NFL venues was a field goal for Wicket, the biometrics provider has now scored a touchdown as the league prepares to roll out Wicket's face biometrics system for digital credentialing across all 30 NFL stadiums, starting with preseason games on August 8th. In a LinkedIn post, Wicket CEO Jeff Boehm announced this expansion, saying, quote, all 32 teams, starting with the New England Patriots, will be using Wicket to streamline and secure the credentialing program. Boehm says the Boston firm's facial recognition authentication system will quote, ensure that properly credentialed media officers, staff, and guests can easily and safely access restricted areas, including the playing field, press box, or locker rooms. So in order to access certain locations, they're going to literally be looking at your facial biometric data, and identifying you, and then allowing you or declining you access to areas. I don't know how if it's going to be like scanning everybody in the crowd, or if it's just for locker rooms and this kind of thing. It seems like totally unnecessary to me. Whatever happened to like a badge? Don't they use badges or something else, or security? Right? A security person with a list, like that's how I think is a fine way. I don't see a need to update this. Let me check and make sure Trump's not out yet. He's not. We are standing by for Trump to go live in Georgia, folks. So please stand by, enjoy the show. We're just going to talk about some news and stuff. Right now, we're talking about facial authentication being used at the NFL, where they collect facial biometric data to make sure people have the proper credentials to be in certain areas, which I'm not going to a game. I don't want to be scanned. I don't want people could be looking at my face right now, but that's whatever. I don't like it. Anyway, they say, quote, in this article by Biometric Update, quote, oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. JD Vance is introducing Donald J. Trump right now, so we're going to switch over to that. Without further ado, everybody. JD Vance.
Family, friends. He gave up the easy life so that we could get our country back. He traded everything he had for unjust persecution, for slander and scorn from the fake news, all for this country, for you and me. They couldn't beat him politically, so they tried to bankrupt him. They failed at that, so they tried to impeach him. They failed at that, so they tried to put him in prison. They even tried to kill him. But as sure as the American flag still waves in our beautiful sky, Donald Trump still stands, ready to fight, ready to win, and ready to make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the once and future President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
All right, so here we go. Trump's coming out, y'all. We'll make sure you retweet this as he comes out, and we will listen to him speak live in Atlanta, Georgia today. I'm looking forward to this. I'm reposting this. Please repost this. We're going to have a good time listening to this and discussing it after, reviewing it and other breaking news. So stay tuned after this speech to discuss all of the latest, everybody. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, following, and turning on those notifications, whether that's on X or on YouTube or on Rumble, wherever you like to watch. Let's go. We're waiting for Trump here. As he comes out on stage, we will hear what he has to say. Trump Vance 2024, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. They're just playing his introduction song and getting to it. I will cut to it as soon as Trump begins speaking. So Kai says, all this chaos is to make us ask for a big action, make it required. Then they just never back off the extreme measures. Yeah, this is in response to the biometric data being collected. Absolutely. Trump is taking the stage. Y'all will switch over here in just a moment. Stand by. Live in Atlanta. This is awesome. Thank you all for tuning in. Dutch, I see you over there with your pizza, popcorn, whatever. Let's go. We're waiting. We're waiting. He'll start speaking here in a moment, y'all. There he is. Red tie and everything. They're just playing his intro song here, and we'll switch over to it. Here we go in just a moment, y'all. Like I said, please repost this. We're going to have fun, and we got some good, big stuff to cover right after this. Here we go. The sound is going to come on in just a moment here.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much to the next Vice President of the United States, JD Vance. He's doing a great job. You know, they go after JD. You know why? He's for the worker. He's for people that get out and they want to work. And frankly, they are people that have been taken advantage of, and he doesn't like it, and he's done great. He's done great. He's been everything we could have expected and much more. So, JD, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you to Atlanta. I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Georgia. I love Georgia. With thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. Crazy Kamala, ultra-left, you know that. She was here a week ago, lots of empty seats. But the crowd she got was because she had entertainers. And it all started to unfold when they started to leave about 10 minutes into the speech. It was very boring.
I don't need entertainers. I fill the stadium because I'm making America great again. That's our entertainment. That's our entertainment, making America great again. And I have to tell you, we have thousands of people outside, and the state was terrific, but the fire marshal, I will say, could not have been better. Thank you to the fire marshal. But the school administration stopped us from getting another 500, 600, even 1,000 people in. Thousands of people were told no, and that was okay, but we could have fit another 600 people. So I don't know anything about the school. I don't know anything about this school, but they could have allowed more people. You got people standing outside. Look at all the people outside. They could have come in. They could have come in. So we're not happy. Hello out there. And then they actually pushed the people very far away from the building where we have beautiful cameras set up for the overflow crowds, the administration of the school. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be sending anybody to this school. I'm not happy about it. If they're going to stand in the way of admitting people to our rally, just imagine what they're going to do on Election Day. We're not going to let that happen. 94 days from now, we're going to win the great state of Georgia in an epic landslide. And we're going to defeat crazy Kamala. You know, there's about 19 different ways of saying it. She only likes 3. Biden never even came close. Kamala, she goes, Kamala. No, it's Kamala. We're going to evict this radical and incompetent administration from the White House. They're destroying our country. We're going to save our country. We're going to save our country. Yesterday, it was announced that unemployment is surging, with 350,000 Americans joining the unemployment rolls just last month. Tell you what, we could end up in a depression. We could end up in World War III and a depression. How about that? Could happen, too. Under Harris-Biden policies, we now have the highest unemployment rate in 3 years. Just came out yesterday. Even I was surprised. Those numbers were terrible. If Harris wins this election, you will quickly have a Kamala economic crash. You're going to have a crash. You could also have a crash like in 1929, more specifically, because that's where we're heading. When we win, you will rapidly see a brand new Trump economic boom. It's going to be booming like it was 4 years ago. With your vote, inflation will stop. The illegal aliens will be turned back. They're not coming in. We got to stop them. Did you see where she's now saying, oh, we had a very good border. Oh, great. They had the worst border in the history of the world. It's all misinformation. That's all they're good at, that and cheating on elections. They're very good at that. The cartels will be crushed, crime will plummet, incomes will soar, the wars will end, and the American dream will come roaring back, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before, right? Yes? Thank you. But with 4 more years of Kamala, the California socialist, you know, she destroyed San Francisco. Then she destroyed the whole state. Look at what's going on in California. With your family and our country, it'll never recover. If you have any more time with these people, it's already, I'm worried about the next 3 months, if you think about it. These people are grossly incompetent. You'll end up in World War III, I'll tell you. And I hope I'm not right about that. You know, do you ever see the hats? Trump is right about everything. I don't want to be right about it. Her policies of open borders and double-digit inflation, inflation like we've never seen before. It's destroying middle-income families, working families, all families. Will demolish your life savings. 40 or 50 million illegal aliens will invade our country during the next 4 years if they're in. 40 or 50 million. Medicare and Social Security. You know, she said she wants to put everybody on health care.
You know, that's wonderful. It's all wonderful. First of all, they shouldn't be told to come here. Many of them were fine where they were. But no country can sustain this. Social Security will buckle and collapse. The suburbs will be overrun with violent crime and savage foreign gangs. That's what they're doing. You know, they're sending all their gangs into the United States, right? Look, there's Front Row Joe's. You didn't get into the front row. What happened to you? What happened? Thank you. We have Front Row Joe's. They've been to 229 rallies. And then, look at these people. These, I call them the beautiful ladies, and you're not allowed to say that anymore. It's the end of your political career. You say beautiful. You're barely allowed to say ladies, right? Because that could also be destructive. But they're beautiful, they're ladies, and they're great. And they've been to 216 rallies from North Carolina. They look great. Happily married. I got to talk to their husbands. I don't know. They're way over 200 rallies, and they're incredible people. Thank you very much, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate it. Together, we will stop Kamala Harris's nation-wrecking. I'll tell you what, when you see what she's done to our nation, she's wrecking our nation. The radicalism will take back our country from the worst administration in American history. Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. She's acknowledged to be the worst vice president in the history of our country. She doesn't have a clue. You know, if she doesn't have a teleprompter, she can't even speak. Did you see her the other night? They put a camera in her face. She can't even talk. We just went through 4 years. Let's not go through another 4 years. Can't talk. No, it's terrible. You know, by the way, I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made? Now, look, we want to get people in. You know, we got 59 hostages. I never paid anything. They released some of the greatest killers anywhere in the world, some of the most evil killers they got, and we got our people back. But, boy, we make some horrible, horrible deals, and it's nice to say we got them back, but does that set a bad precedent, Bert, right? Does that set a bad precedent, Bert? Harris has the most ultra-left-wing agenda of any presidential candidate ever in history. There's never been anybody like this. She is considered more left-wing than crazy Bernie Sanders. Look at her. She's worse than Bernie. And she happens to be really a low IQ individual. She really does. She has a very low IQ. We don't need a low IQ. President Xi of China said, oh, good, we have another one, a low IQ individual. They love dealing with low IQ. They love dealing with low IQ people, and they got them here, I'll tell you. We got them all. She is terrible. She's worse than he. I think she's worse than him. By the way, they really took it away from the guy, right? I don't feel sorry for him because he's a bad guy. You know, he's weaponized the whole thing, and nobody's ever done that in this country. But he's a bad guy. But people feel sorry for him. They did a coup. He just doesn't know it. But actually, he does know it. You know that. They said, Joe, you got 14 million votes. It's yours, but you're going to give it up. You're going to give it up right now, Joe. You're giving it up right now. No, I'm not. I was... Joe, you're getting the hell out. Debate performance. So here's what happened in the debate. You know, there was the highest rated debate ever, and which was a great compliment. And as I left the debate stage, I took off because other people were entering the stage. You understand. I said, I don't want to confront other people. So we had a great debate. But as I left, CNN, I won't say who, but they said that was the single greatest debate performance I've ever seen. And this went on for 2 days. They were saying how great I was. On the third day, they didn't mention that anymore. They said he was terrible. I liked it the first way better. I made him choke. Don't kid yourself. We made him choke. He was choking like a dog. He was choking. He was choking like a dog. And that was the end of him. I mean, that was the end from that. Then they said, okay, this was a disaster. So then they started doing interviews with people that are, 100% bought. The media, the fake news media, they had some people interviewing him, like George Slopadopoulos. ABC. ABC's one of the worst, by the way. They're all sort of bad when you get right down, but ABC's bad. And they're asking him hardball questions like, where did you stay last night? Did you think you did well in the debate, even though you could? Did you ever see a guy in a debate, they give you like 2 minutes to answer, and you want to use up, you got so much fertility in there, you want to use up every second, and he'd answer a question. You have 92 seconds left. And I kept saying, I'll take them. And he said, you have 92 seconds left. He goes, oh. This is not what he wanted. He left a lot of time on the board. But I went right down to the last second. I didn't want to go a little bit over because I know they'd cut me. They would have cut me. But they were very fair, actually, CNN, shockingly, honestly. They were very fair. They want to do another one. We're doing one with Fox if she shows up. I don't think she's going to show up. She can't talk. She can read a teleprompter. I'd give her about a 6 on a scale of 10, 6. For talking, I'd give her less than a 1. We need people that can talk. Kamala pledged to give free taxpayer-funded health care to all illegal aliens. How do you like that idea? Which will destroy Social Security. She called for the abolition of ICE. Listen, ICE, I know some people here. 2 of them are really tough guys. They're fighters. They're vicious people. They're good, tough people. They don't want to work for ICE. ICE will go into a pack of MS-13 killers and thugs, and for about 2 minutes, you just see fists flying back and forth, and then they stand up and they win, and they grab them, they throw them in a paddy wagon, they get them the hell out of the country, and she's calling them the equivalent of KKK, okay? And she loves deadly sanctuary cities. By the way, all of the things you're hearing now, she's now denying. But the one good thing about the internet, you press a button and you got it. Although they are trying to delete everything. They changed the picture of me from a couple of weeks ago, and they really radicalized it. They changed it, using AI, they changed it. They had all the people on the stage who were angry, and they were smart and sharp and very brave, and they had them all big smiles on their face. Can you believe that? They put the agents, who I have to tell you, say what you want, those people were brave. They were running to me, and the bullets were flying. The Secret Service, they were very brave. They were very brave, I can say. They were very brave. They were running at me, and they knew the bullets were going right over my head. At that point, the first one was not a good situation. Not a good situation. That was really something incredible. That was from God. That was from God. Because the chances, that was from God. For all of you non-believers, that one was for God, right? Boom. That was a close one. But I just want to say, though, they were very brave. They pounced on me. They pounced on me, and I heard those things whizzing over me. They were whizzing, and I have to say that because people take abuse, and there were mistakes made. There were mistakes made, pretty bad ones.
But the bravery of that moment was incredible. And also that the sniper, the Secret Service, who's a phenomenal, talented shooter, one bullet from hundreds of yards away, if he doesn't hit his target, and he hit his target, boom. But from hundreds of, if he doesn't hit the target, then you have Corey and a lot of other people that are dead. Corey was great. Two other great gentlemen, warriors, great Trump people. We love them. And they're really, we thought they were going to be gone too. The doctors were incredible. They did a great job, an unbelievable job. But if that sniper, and he had 5 seconds to think. He did not know about it beforehand, by the way. He had 5 seconds. He saw the flash, and he knew what that was. And within 5 seconds, he got off his shot. One bullet, think of it, one bullet, and that was the end. Otherwise, you would have had many people dead. He did a hell of a job. And that was from a very far distance. That was from basically about triple the distance. It was a much longer shot. So we want to thank him, and we want to thank all of the people in Secret Service for their bravery, because they were very brave. I mean, this was a bad thing, very brave. But she refuses to even say the words illegal alien or radical Islamic terrorist. She says nope. And the main thing, think of this, she wants to let mass amnesty and citizenship. She wants all illegals to have mass amnesty. Everybody can. Even criminals, because many of them that are coming in are from prisons and jails and mental institutions, insane asylums. They hate when I use Dr. Hannibal Lecter as the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh, they go, look at all the media back there. Look at all the fake news. That's a lot of fake news. That's a lot of fake news, Bert. But she doesn't want to get involved. Look, here's a story. When a politician says something young in life, that's where they are. That's what they believe in. Defund the police, all the things that she said, that's where she would go if she ever got the chance. She's never going to get the chance. Our country will be destroyed. She's worse than Biden. She's worse than Bernie Sanders. She's Bernie Sanders, but not as smart. That's the way I view her. I said she's a dumb version of Bernie Sanders, and actually further left than him. She supports mandatory gun confiscation. I'm sure you wouldn't mind that. Would anybody mind if they came into your house and took away your gun or your guns? Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked to hear that. She's for taking away all of your guns. The problem is they won't take them away from the bad guy. The bad guy's not giving up the guns. The good guys are going to, oh, well, yes, ma'am, here's my gun, thank you. Now you're totally defenseless in your house. No, you can't do that. She said that a 70 to 80% tax hike is, quote, a bold idea that should be discussed. Oh, that's nice. She co-sponsored the $100 trillion Green New Scam. She wants to abolish all oil and coal and natural gas. We want to work on wind. We want to have wind blowing. She vowed to ban fracking. She wants the government to stop people from eating red meat. She wants to get rid of your cows. No more cows. No more cows. Oh, it's serious. You know, in Europe, you know, you smile and you think about it, but in Europe, they're sort of doing it. They don't want any cattle. She wants to get rid of gas-powered cars and replace them with all electric. They don't go far. They cost too much. They're all made in China. Other than that, they're fantastic. And I'm for electric cars. I have to be, you know, because Elon endorsed me very strongly, Elon. So I have no choice. But he knows. No, I am for him. I'm for him for a small slice is a slice. But you want to have gas-propelled cars. You want to have hybrids. You want to have every kind of a car imaginable. They want to go all electric. And there's no way you can ever load them up. They call them loading them. You can't load them. We're going to have to spend $9 trillion in the Middle West. You saw they built chargers. Now, a charger is a gas pump with electricity come through it. Is that good? So it's like for 8 chargers, they spent $9 billion. Is that a good deal? So at that rate, it would be $10 trillion to charge up the country. The whole thing is crazy, right, Mr. Preacher? She wants to get rid of two very special words to me, and I came up with this because I noticed when you went into stores, I used to go into stores, now I wouldn't want to go into stores because they have everything under lock and key. You ever see they have bars up, they have glass up? I don't know how you can do business like that. I'd like to buy a toothpaste, please. Oh, wait till the clerk comes, 25 minutes the clerk. They open this heavy glass armored door. How the hell do you make money doing that? It used to be that if somebody robbed your store, you would be very tough about it, right? Now, Kamala started this. Anything under $1,000, you can do whatever you want. And these guys are sitting out there. You ever see them? They've got paper. Okay, go ahead. Oop, that's over that. Drop that back. Put that. There's no crime if it's less than $1,000. She's the one who started it. She is a lunatic. She wants to get rid of these two very special words. You remember I used to bring it up all the time in 2016. By the way, we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016, but these are minor details. We did much better. They said, what was the difference? I said, well, we got millions of more votes, as you know that too. But we're not going to let that happen again. Ready? The two words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Now she's denying it, and then they found the tape last night. She's such a liar. She denies all this stuff. She said, I was not the border czar. She was the New York Times has a headline, border czar. She was the border czar. She was the worst border czar. She was the worst czar in history. Kamala's radical ideas belong in a San Francisco commune filled with far-left freaks, but they do not belong in the White House. They do not belong in the United States of America. This November, Georgia is going to tell Kamala that we will not let her turn America into a communist country. Remember I used to say, we will never be a socialist country. Well, I was right. They skipped socialism. I was right. I was right. It will never be a socialist country. I'd say that. State of the Union, I said, we will not ever allow our country to be a socialist country. I was right. It's gone communist. It skipped socialism. It never stopped. The train never stopped at the socialism world. The world of socialism, not a good one, but the world of communism is many times worse. Now that they've swapped out Biden, is he going to the Democrat convention? This is a big question. I'd like to go to watch Kamala get sworn in as they ripped it away from him. They took away his presidency. What do you think, Mr. Congressman? You had a very good speech. Didn't he make a good speech? What do you think about ripping away their socialism there? What do you think about ripping away the guy's presidency, right? No, it's not democracy. Remember the words they use? They are a threat to democracy. They've been saying that about me for 7 years. I think I got shot because of that, okay? People said, he's a threat to democracy. No, I'm the one that is saving democracy. It's true. They're a threat. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. That's nice. Thank you, Marjorie. No, we're saving democracy. Wow. I'm going to use that more often. I've never used that before. I'm always hitting them. I should say instead, I'm going to save democracy and get a nice big applause. It is true, though, certain phrases get amazing response, like, I will keep men out of women's sports. Now you find out I'm right. I used to use the barbells. I said, now all you have to do is look at the boxers. This young girl from Italy, a champion boxer, she got hit so hard she didn't know what the hell hit her. It's a person that transitioned. He was a good male boxer. Yeah, he was a good male boxer. And she didn't even go down. He hit her with 2 jabs, and she said, "I'm out." How crazy is it? The weightlifters are great, though, because they put a 1/4 of an ounce here, a 1/4 of an ounce here. And she goes, by the way, First Lady of the United States hates when I do this. She says, "It's so damn unpresidential." I said, "But the people like it." Right, Marjorie? She doesn't like it. She's a very elegant woman. She doesn't like it. Should I do it, Marjorie? So, no, our First Lady, she said, "You know, your speech was great, but this weightlifting thing is so unelegant. And please don't imitate him not being able to find stairs, because every time you do it, they say it was you that couldn't find the stairs." So I'm very careful, because the press is among the most dishonest human beings in history. They know. Bruce knows. The great Bruce Lavelle. Stand up, Bruce. He's been with me from before I ran. He was with me in 2014, saying that guy in New York should run. He'll be great president. That was long before I even read. I didn't even know about it. I think you might have convinced me to run. I don't know. Some of these people, you know, some people have been with me long before I ran. They would say Trump should run. That we had Romney. Remember Romney? And they did polls. Romney and Paul Ryan, what a combination that was. Whoops, there we go off Fox. Fox just won it. No, Paul Ryan's on the board of Fox. What a mistake that was. But they had Romney and Paul Ryan. What a team that was. They got clobbered. They got clobbered. The choice in this election could not be more stark. On the one hand, you have a radical left freak. You have a candidate who is fake, fake, fake. On the other hand, you have a president who will fight, fight, fight for America. Fight, fight, fight. I will, I promise. I will. By the way, the fire marshal, I love him. Could the school people allow, there's some seats right up there. They could let him come in. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Let the people come in. They're standing outside, thousands of them. Let them come in. It's obviously, Marjorie, a very liberal school, I guess, right? I'm not happy with the school. Let them come in. They're standing. It's 95 degrees out. Let them come in. There's some seats. Now they got thousands of people. They won't let them in. A Harris presidency. You know why? Because they don't want to show that we're successful. That's all it is. They don't want to show. She has to go get entertainers. They start leaving as soon as she opens her mouth. Well, Hillary used to do that, too. I remember she got Bruce Springsteen. I'm not I'm not a huge fan. I have a bad trait. I only like people that like me. Does that make sense? And these people like me, Bert, right? These people like me. No, Hillary used to do it all the time. She got the idea from Hillary. Hillary got Bruce Springsteen, I'll never forget. And the place was pretty full. Not full like our places are full. And I don't have a guitar. I don't have a guitar, but our places are bigger. We get more people than anybody. I don't care how many guitars they have. You know, in New Jersey, we had 107,000 people come. Nobody has that. Nobody. In Alabama, we had 68,000 people. In South Carolina, we had 82,000 people. That had closed up the whole state. We even did one in the South Bronx in New York. Rough place, but boy, it was love. 25,000 people. It was love. It was love. But I'll never forget that Hillary, and they were all saying, oh, she drew, 25,000 people or something. Then he finished with the concert. She starts speaking, and everyone's leaving. I said, that's not working out so good. That's not working out, right? But I don't know. You have to be real. You have to, if people show up, people show up. But to do that, I don't know. There's something pretty phony about it. But she had somebody. Who did she have? Who was the entertainer that she had, you know? Yeah, that's what I think. By the way, the entertainer couldn't fill the place either. Even with the help of the school's trying to get students, please go. This is embarrassing to us. Please go. No, wasn't Hillary a beauty when I campaigned against her? She said, look at him, just look at those words he uses. He will start wars. No, I had no wars. I got rid of ISIS, 100% of ISIS, but that was already started. I was the one that had no wars, first time in 80 years. In California, Harris was the original Marxist prosecutor. She was in the role of Fannie Willis. Has anybody ever heard of Fannie Willis? You know, Fannie Willis is a good friend of your governor. You know that? Your governor. I'm not a fan of your governor, but she was in the role of Fannie Willis or Larry Krasner, George Gascon, Alvin Bragg of New York. Oh, he goes after me. He goes after me because of the Justice Department. Never happened before. The DA of San Francisco, Harris, shielded illegal alien crack dealers from deportation. She wouldn't let them be deported. She fought like hell. She wouldn't arrest criminals of the worst kind. She wouldn't arrest murderers. She wouldn't arrest anybody. The state has gone to hell. Gavin Newsom is the worst, one of the worst guys. Gavin Newsom. But she was the one that started it. She ruined San Francisco, ruined California. As California Attorney General, she defined and redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person raped as nonviolent. These were nonviolent crimes. We shouldn't even prosecute these people. To help spring child predators and dangerous criminals out of prison all over the state. And during the left-wing riots of 2020, you saw that, she urged her followers to donate to bail rapists and murderers out of jail while saying that the violent mobs should not stop. They should not stop. She said she was endorsing to fund the police, and she said, violent mobs, let the violent mobs keep going. Let them keep going. We love what they're doing. We love what they represent. This is the lunatic that the fake news is trying to build up to be the next Margaret Thatcher. You know, 4 months ago, she was considered grossly incompetent by the fake news. Now they're saying, oh, isn't she wonderful? Isn't she wonderful? No, she's not wonderful. So we have to work hard to define her. I don't want to even define her. I just want to say who she is. She's a horror show. She'll destroy our country. For years, she has pushed legislation to strip police officers of any protection. They have no protection. Anything they do, they get sued, they go bankrupt, they lose their house, they lose their family, they lose their pension. They ruin their lives. They want to ruin their lives. She was the worst at ruining police officers. And by the way, I have the endorsement of virtually every police organization in the United States. Almost every. And when I'm president of the United States, again, we will never defund the police. We will only overfund. We're going to overfund the police if we have to. I will always give our law enforcement heroes the protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. And like other Marxist DAs, and she was the first of them. She was horrible. She was horrible. She had a very good friend named Willie Brown. I liked Willie Brown. He knows more about her than anybody's ever known. He could tell you every single thing about her. Could tell you stories that you're not going to want to hear. Like other Marxist DAs, Kamala supports abolishing cash bail, which means bloodthirsty criminals that just killed somebody can immediately leave custody, go out and kill somebody else, which by the way, they often do. Under these kinds of woke radical left policies, Atlanta is like a killing field, and your governor ought to get off his ass and do something about it. Just a few weeks ago, two 13-year-old boys were murdered and an 11-year-old was shot while sitting outside their house in southwest Atlanta. In June, a 47-year-old man, a 69-year-old woman, and a 70-year-old woman were shot in the middle of the day, shot right through the head in the food court of Peachtree Center, what a nice name, in downtown Atlanta, where you can't even walk anymore. The shooter had been previously arrested 11 times, but they think it was 24 times. He'd gone to prison for assault and armed robbery many times. Since I was president, aggravated assaults in Atlanta are up 17%, and there's a 20% increase in shoplifting and a 90% increase in overall crime. Murders are up massively. Murders, you go to the store, I want to buy a loaf of bread, darling. You come back, ma'am, I'm sorry, but your husband's been killed. He went for bread across the street. He's been shot to death, ma'am. Nationwide, there's been a 43% increase in violent crimes since I left office, including a 58% increase in rape, 89% increase in aggravated assault, and a 56% increase in stone-cold robbery. July 4th weekend in Chicago, 117 people were shot. 100, I'm not talking about I'm talking about shot. Not aimed at and missed, but I can guarantee you that number was big. But 117 people were shot. Of the 117, 17 died. Many are going to be incapacitated. They're going to be working for the rest of their lives just to move. Many are paralyzed. Many of those people are paralyzed right now. Nobody ever talks about that. So 117 people shot, 17 died, many very seriously hurt for the rest of their lives. If Kamala wins, it will be crime, chaos, and death all across our country. We're going to have just the opposite. You know, it's up to the governors and the mayors to run things, but with Minnesota, which was a disaster, Minneapolis, the crimes. You remember the CNN reporter? This is a friendly riot. Oh, please, I'd rather not use the word riot. This is a friendly get-together. And behind him, the whole city is burning down. Remember that? Remember, it was like the flames were going like for miles. And then he got hit on the knee with something. I think it was a hand grenade that didn't go off. Remember him with the shaved head? Ding, 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 shaved his head. How do I look? Great. Then he goes down, a hand grenade hits him. How do I look, darling? Oh, you look great. They call it the summer of love, remember? They took over Seattle, 20%. If I didn't have the soldiers ready to go that morning, that Seattle would still be occupied. They actually took over a large percentage of Seattle. Portland, what they did with Portland. You know, I was in the real estate business. I love storefronts, beautiful bronze. I love bronze and beautiful everything. Storefronts, so beautiful. In Portland, you know they have a storefront? Their storefronts have been so decimated, they use old 2x4s with a wooden door. No glass, no windows. It's the worst looking avenue I've ever seen because, and I spoke to people that have shops there, but they don't have them anymore, they've all fled. But the few people that remain, they have wooden storefronts made out of old lumber, and they said, no, anything we put up, including this, will be knocked down the next time, and it happens on a weekly basis, and nobody does anything about it. If I didn't bring out, they knew the military was coming in the next day in Seattle. If they didn't know that, and they fled, they all said, oh, it's about time to get it. You know, when they were doing monuments in Washington, Marjorie knows this, I got an old bill, because I doubt we could ever get Congress to pass one like this. And they were trying to rip down monuments, and then it was Abraham Lincoln. They were going to rip down the monument to Abraham Lincoln. They were from 18 wouldn't have the guts to sign a thing like that, although they should make it even tougher. And it said, if you desecrate or even touch a monument in any way, shape, or form, you go to jail for 10 years, and there's no shortened sentence. There's no shortened sentence. There's no, like, you get 9 years off for good behavior. No, it's 10 years, and you're not allowed to even do that. No judge is allowed to do it.
In fact, it was so old when I had them blowing. I'm saying, this is an old sucker. This thing is old. But I reinstituted it. It was so severe, frankly, that they didn't use it. And then I had a press conference, remember, and I announced anybody, and people were, doing lassos of those gorgeous horses and all the things up there. And yet you saw it the other day. They were doing it again in Washington, D.C. with spray paint into limestone and granite. The limestone, it's a very porous stone. I was very good at this. I was a builder, as you may have heard. And the limestone, that paint goes in there, sucks. In 100 years, you'll see that. There's nothing you can do. It just goes right in. It's very, very porous. It's sand, basically. Beautiful sand, beautiful lions, beautiful monuments, the bells and everything. Desecrated. And I wonder what happened to those people. Probably nothing, right? Probably nothing. What they did tremendous damage. They did tremendous damage. But so I announced this bill, and the bill, I had a press conference to announce it. And I said, 10 years for anybody even touching any of our beautiful monuments. You know what happened? It was a beautiful sight. I saw thousands of asses, only the back, walking out of town. Some were running. They didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to get the hell out of town. And that was the end of the problem. We didn't have any more problem. We had no more problem after that. There was no problem, and that was the end. You didn't hear about it after that, Mr. Congressman, did we? Collins, good speaker he is. He's got a future. Does he have a future, Marjorie? I don't know. Got the look. He's got the hair. Good job. I watched. Good job. We will restore law and order to America. We will bring back public safety to the great state of Georgia, which is doing very badly in that way. And on day one, we will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send the illegal aliens back home, and we'll do it very quickly. Right? For 3.5 years, Border Czar Harris, and again, she refuses to acknowledge that she was the border czar. She was the worst manager we've ever had, ever. And by the way, all of the people in charge of the border, they've all endorsed me. They said he was the greatest president we've ever had. Tom Homan, Brandon Judd, all of those guys, they've all endorsed me. And they said, she's the worst. I mean, it's hard for them to say that, but, they said there's never been anybody so incompetent. For 3.5 years, Border Czar Harris has allowed terrorists and criminals to pour across our wide-open border. And now she's denying it. You can't fall for it. Disinformation. Deny for a year. We'd never done. Nothing happened. We were great. We were so tough. And some people will start to believe it, They used the word brainwash. Did you ever hear the word brainwash? Mitt Romney's father used that word. It wasn't good when he used that word. It destroyed his career. But they were brainwashed. Some people they hear it over and over again, how bad they were, and they say how great a job they did. They did great, they did great. They say it again and again, and all of a sudden people, and don't forget, it's not their main thing. They're accountants, they're lawyers, they're taxi drivers, they're carpenters, they're electricians. They hear it over and over again. All of a sudden they say, she was really great on the border, wasn't she? No, she was a disaster. She has destroyed our country. We're going to bring it back, but she has destroyed our country. She's incompetent. They're coming from South America. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from Africa and the Middle East, from prisons and jails. They're coming from all over the world. They're not just coming from South America. Everyone thinks, South America, they want to vote in Spanish, and they're going to like, but by the way, we are doing better with the Hispanic population, I think, now than they are. So that's not working out too well. But they're coming from all over the world, not just South America. They're coming from the Congo in Africa. A lot are coming from the Congo, from prisons. Where do you come from? The Congo. Oh, what's your address? We live in prison. What did you do? Murder. Oh. Welcome to the United States of America. It's lovely to you. The only good thing is, I say this all the time, these people are so violent and vicious that are being brought into our country. They're so violent, so vicious, that they make our gang members and bad people and criminals look like the nicest people on earth. So when we see an MS-13 some person now, we say, well, they're not that bad. These are the worst people anywhere in the world coming into our country. They're coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing can be made of it. And they're actually trying to get them to sign up and vote. They don't even speak the language. They don't even know where the hell they are. They want them to sign up and vote. And we have the head of our great Republican Party here, and he is not letting it happen wherever you may be. Right? Wherever you may be. Doing a great job. You know that, right? They're coming in, and they're trying to sign them up. Because I used to say, like, only two reasons this could be happening. They hate our country, or they're stupid. Well, they're not stupid, because anybody that can cheat on elections that good is not stupid. And they do, I really believe they do to a certain extent hate our country, because, you know, why? But I never really talked about the third reason, because it's so sinister. But they want to sign these people up to vote. And if they do that, this country is destroyed. We've become a dumping ground for the entire world, and we're not going to take it anymore. Just a few months ago, right here in your state, I met with the devastated family, what a beautiful family, of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student, top of her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed. Her family was, I mean, look, they'll never be the same, incredible family. Kamala Harris let in the savage monster who murdered Laken Riley. He was an illegal alien who was in Border Patrol custody, but under Harris's policies, instead of being deported immediately and fast, he was set free into America. Please enjoy your stay. Laken's blood is on Kamala Harris's hands, and she was in charge of the border. But there are many, many people like that. Laken is not the only one. Kamala is responsible for the death as though she was standing there watching it herself. She was responsible, and for so many more. 3 days after releasing Laken's killer into the United States, Harris went on television and lied to the American people, saying the border is secure. Quote, the border is secure. What kind of a politician lies to Americans about keeping the border open while precious young girls are being assaulted and killed? And Laken is one where the press was, I mean, very strong on it, but there are thousands of people that are being killed and being criminalized and victimized by these people that are pouring into our country. I call it migrant crime. We now have migrant crime in our country. It's a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's vicious, and it's really bad. Kamala Harris should not be asking for your vote. She should be begging Laken Riley's family for forgiveness, and Joe Biden never would mention her name. You remember when Biden wouldn't mention her name, then all of a sudden, because Laken was really, I mean, that was a big deal. That was a very horrible, just horrific. And he wouldn't mention her name, and then he finally did it, and he called her the wrong name. Lincoln, right? Called her Lincoln. Good coach, Lincoln Riley, good coach. Maybe that's where it came from, but called her Lincoln. And he was so bad, such a bad precedent. Such a bad president, and precedent was set by having him as a president. He was a disaster for this country. You get angry talking about it, because it's almost impossible to believe you can be that bad. You know, people like certain people, and I understand it. They could have different beliefs, different policies. Like Ronald Reagan, he had something special about him. There was an aura, right? I didn't agree with him on trade. I didn't think he was as good on trade as he could have been tougher on trade, but he had something special. They all, you know, but this last group, there's nothing they have nothing. I call him Crooked Joe for a reason. He's crooked. I also call him Sleepy Joe. He's sleepy. He's sleepy, he's crooked, he's incompetent, he's dumb. And she's worse. She's worse.
If Harris wins, a never-ending stream of illegal alien rapists, MS-13 animals, and child predators will flood into your communities. If I win on day one, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history. Have no choice. We have no choice. No country can sustain this. We have no choice, and we will immediately expel every single criminal that Baltazar Harris has allowed into our country. No country can sustain it. In a recent CBS poll, 62% of Americans support large-scale deportation, and others are saying it's 83%, 85%, including 53% of Hispanic voters because they see what's happening. By the way, the Hispanic voter and me have like this special relationship. I understand them. They're very entrepreneurial, very smart, but they also understand security better than anybody. And they don't want to have murderers released into our country. They don't want, it's very interesting. When I built, I built massive amounts of the wall. The wall was incredible. We built it, and hundreds of miles of wall, and they wanted it more than anybody because it worked. You know, remember I used to say, two things work. You know, everything else is obsolete after two. You do a new computer, in about 3 weeks it's totally obsolete. Nobody wants it. Two things have never been obsolete: wheels and walls. Wheels work and walls work. And you have a lot of different things becoming obsolete, but the wheel and the walls work. Harris wants to be the president for criminals and illegal aliens. I will be the president for law-abiding Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. And it's no wonder the Democrat Party and their thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that we are the only ones who can stop them. We're the only ones who are going to be able to stop them. Nobody else is going to be able to stop these lunatics. All of their persecution of me is only happening because I am running for president and leading very big in all of the polls. If I wasn't running for president, I could be vacationing next to one of the many beautiful oceans of the world as the waves come in. Beautiful, but it's boring. I'd rather be with you, figuring out this mess that we've gotten ourselves into. We're going to figure it out. We've got it figured out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we have two things we have to do. We have to vote, and we have to make sure that we stop them from cheating, because they cheat like dogs. I don't know if you've heard, but the Georgia State Election Board is in a very positive way. This is a very positive thing, Marjorie. They're on fire. They're doing a great job. 3 members: Janice Johnson, Rick Jeffries, and Janelle King. 3 people are all pit bulls fighting for honesty, transparency, and victory. They're fighting. Are they here? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Thank you. What a job. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. But we have a couple of other members that aren't so good. We have some that aren't so good, but these 3 are really doing the job because they don't want to see this happen. That will destroy our country. They just passed a rule for Georgia elections requiring that 3 people at each precinct independently count the total number of ballots before certification. Who could be against that? Who could be against it? Thank you, Janice, very much. That's really amazing. Thank you all. Thank you all. Those are great people. I'd say brave, but I mean, to you, it's like that you got to do what you have to do, right? It's not like a question of brave. They said I was brave 2 weeks ago. I had to do what I had to do. It's not like brave, right? It's just we do the right thing. Go. Thank you. My courage was contagious. Well, your courage is contagious, too. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. It's amazing. People want it. That's what they want. Thank you, Janice. That's great. And those three people are incredible. Let me give you the bad news. It's that for whatever reason, Brad Raffensperger and Brian Kemp, your governor, who I got elected, by the way. If it wasn't for me, he would not be your governor. I think everybody knows that. He's a very disloyal person, isn't he? Very disloyal. But these two are doing everything possible. Plus, your attorney general would like to see him show up and do something. But, I mean, look at the love and adulation and applause, because this is like a poll. This is like a poll. We have thousands of people. That's better than going out and paying $500,000 to have some pollster go out and poll 212 people. Look at this. Look at the love they have for Janice. That's what people want. They want to have honest elections, and they want to have strong borders, you know? Very simple. But your governor, Kemp, and Raffensperger are doing everything possible to make 2024 difficult for Republicans to win. What are they doing? I don't know. They got something in mind, you know? They got a little something in mind. Kemp is very bad for the Republican Party. He wouldn't do anything. You know, we have Burt Jones over here. We have Burt Jones. All he wanted in the Senate was to have a special resolution passed, and it was all done. Every senator wanted it. Every Republican wanted it. And we have Senator Beach here someplace, too. Where is Senator Beach? Oh, I can't forget him. We can't forget him. A warrior, you know that, and many others in this group. But all they wanted was to have just a special. We want to go over the election. We want to look, because there's too many things. And the governor wouldn't sign it. And I knew he would, because I got him elected. I sent a young guy over to his office. Would you please have him sign this? And the kid came back. He said, sir, he won't sign. Of course he will. I got him elected. Give me a break. Of course he will. No, he wouldn't. And then I said, well, go back over. Tell him it's for me. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. They want to look into possible election fraud. Wouldn't you say, Senator, that's a good thing, right? They want to look into election fraud. It comes back, sir, I said it was for you. This was a few years later, after I won him the election. Don't forget, I endorsed him, and you had a very good man, Casey Cagle, your lieutenant governor. He was going to win easily. And David Perdue, where's David? I love David, but that was his only mistake. He said, sir, would you endorse a friend of mine, Brian Kemp? I said, who's Brian Kemp? He said, he's a friend of mine, sir. And Sonny came too. This was probably the only mistake of David's life. That was a beauty, David. Thanks, David, I appreciate it. And I endorsed this guy. He was like way down on the list. He was doing terribly. And he immediately, you know, my endorsement means a lot, and I'm very careful with it. And I endorsed him, and he won in a landslide. And then he said, I can't beat Stacey Abrams. I can't beat her. She's going to be too tough. And she felt that too, by the way. She still feels it. You know, she's constantly saying she won the election. She can say it, but I'm not allowed to say it. I'm not allowed to say it. And Michaela, I love you, Michaela. I'm in love with Michaela. Please explain that to Melania. Please explain that to our First Lady. You're fantastic. No, you are a special person. But I endorsed him, and then she said, I can't beat Stacey Abrams. He said that, and his wife said it too. I said, well, you won the nomination, so let's do some big rallies. And I did them out at an airport, massive rallies, 55,000 and 52,000. There may have even been a third, I don't know. I remember 2 monster rallies. And I said, you're going to win. He said, I don't think so, sir. I said, no, you're going to win. I'm telling you, I can tell the vibe of the people. I'm like,
I think, David, 287-0 in the last 12 months with endorsements. People respect my endorsement, and I respect them, and I love them. I love them. But so I did these two big rallies, and he won. He did win. He won by like 2%. And his wife looked at me and said, "Thank you, sir. We'll never, ever be able to repay you for what you did. You got my husband the nomination, and then we beat somebody who was unbeatable." You know, she was, in theory, unbeatable. She was the hottest politician in the country at the time. Democrat politician, I would say I was hotter because I was president. So I was hotter now. I'm only kidding, Marjorie. I'm only kidding. Although maybe I'm not kidding, actually. No, she was like the hottest, certainly the hottest Democrat politician in the country. And she was going wild for years. She's still going wild. She can't even believe it. But I got him by doing massive rallies. And I really worked hard. He's the most disloyal guy I think I've ever seen. But think of the wife. "We can never repay you for what you've done, sir. We could have never won." And now she said 2 weeks ago that I will not endorse him because he hasn't earned my endorsement. I haven't earned her endorsement. I have nothing to do with her. Somewhere he went bad. And you know what? Your numbers in Georgia are very average. Your crime numbers, your economic numbers, all of your numbers, you're very average. You can do a lot better, and you'll do a lot better with a better governor. You can do a lot better, just so you understand. But I don't want her endorsement. I don't want his endorsement. I just want them to do their job for Georgia. And you know what? He's the governor. He ought to support his Republican Party, because if he doesn't have his Republican Party, I could tell you where he came from, and it wasn't good. And you have a great leader of the Republican Party right here. Stand up, please. He has done an unbelievable job. And he has to work like hell with a governor that doesn't help him. And Raffensperger ought to make sure that the vote is honest. And they don't want the vote to be honest. In my opinion, they want us to lose. That's actually my opinion. And we can't let that happen. Because if we lose Georgia, we lose the whole thing, and our country goes to hell. Because we can't have her be president of the United States. She's grossly incompetent. We can't let that happen. They're the ones, don't forget, who got Fani Willis and her lover boy boyfriend all jazzed up. This guy, the governor, you know what? She's an embarrassment to the state of Georgia. He's the governor of Georgia. He ought to do something. Many, many people, their lives have been, forget about me, many people, I'm used to it. It's true. I'm used to fake crap that goes on with these politicians. But many, many people, their lives have been destroyed because of Fani, F-A-N-I, Fani. You have to pronounce it Fani. It's called Fanny. You have to pronounce Fani. I don't know how she gets. She should add a little U in there someplace if she wants people to call her. No, her and her lover, right? Lover boy Wade. She hired him because of experience. Paid him almost $1 million a year. For experience. He's got great experience. He never did a thing like this in his life. He knew nothing about it. The only thing he knew about was something else. He knew about that. That's all he knew about. He didn't know a damn thing. Do you know him? Have you ever met him? Yeah, a couple of times. You ever see the phone records, phone calls being made at 3 o'clock in the morning, like every single night? Phone call from her house. And he said, "No, not well. I don't know her well." No. And this governor, I assume, I don't know, he could straighten it out because his state has become a laughingstock over it. And you know what? I love this state. I won this state twice, in my opinion. Once I won, and I did much better the second time. And Bert knows it, and Beach knows it, and everybody else knows it. He could have ended the travesty with a phone call because I did nothing wrong, and neither did all of those good people that are being persecuted. People in their 80s, they signed something, you know, because they see what's going on. I guarantee if I took a vote of this audience, if I said, "What do you think?" I won't do that. You know, they'll come and indict you if you say that, right?
Now, they can say it. Stacey Abrams can say that she won the election is fine. But if we say we won the election, and we did, that's not fine. We can't do it. Hillary Clinton is still complaining about the election, even though she called me up that night and conceded. But Hillary Clinton is constantly complaining about it. Nothing happens to her. We have two sides of justice, and we can't do it anymore. We have to get back to making America great again. We don't have time for this nonsense. I mean, Fani wanted to indict a certain U.S. senator who had nothing at all. He's saying, why are they calling me? I won't use his name because I don't want to hurt him. But she wanted to indict, and somebody along the way stopped her from doing it. She had many, many more people. She was going to indict almost everybody that came into the state for a visit. But Kemp doesn't want to end it because he's a bad guy, he's a disloyal guy, and he's a very average governor. Little Brian Kemp. Bad guy. But think of it. I got this guy, just think, and then that's it. I got this guy nominated, I then got him elected. Without me, he doesn't get nominated and he doesn't get elected. He had no chance of winning either one, and all he had to do is sign something where the Senate would like to look at election integrity. This is an honest man. That's an honest man. They were all honest. They were looking at something very legitimate. And this bad guy said, I'm sorry, sir. I can't do it. I called him. And I said, Brian, they're looking at election integrity. Is there anything you can do? I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved in that. I said, but Brian, you don't understand. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved. I've had you up to here, Brian. I've had you up to here. He's a bad guy, and he's not doing this country a good service. People are looking at Georgia with Fani and her lover and all of the other things, saying, what the hell is going on in Georgia? What the hell is going on? The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020, and we're not going to let them rig the presidential election in 2024. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communist fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. I do. Because I'm being indicted for you. You know, my father and mother are looking down. They were great people. They're saying, my son got indicted like 4 times. Al Capone didn't get indicted 4 times. He would kill you if he didn't like your look. If you looked at him in the slightly, that's a nice shirt. Scarface, Al Capone, the most evil man. He didn't get indicted like Trump. I got indicted for what? I'm protesting an election that was rigged. This guy didn't get indicted. My father would say, but Alphonse Capone didn't get indicted. He killed hundreds of people. If he took you out for dinner, even you, see you two guys, would you stand up with a MAGA black, please? Stand up, please. Look at these two guys. Who the hell is going to mess? Who's going to mess with that? MAGA black. MAGA black. I love them. I like them better than you, Bruce. Now, those are 2 tough cookies. But if Alphonse Capone didn't like you because you insulted him slightly at dinner, that was the end of you fellas, I have to tell you. And he didn't get like me. Think of it. How crazy is the world? And thank you for being here. You're good-looking guys. Better looking than Bruce, I'll tell you right now. Much. Stand up, Bruce. Never forget, thank you. But never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me, they're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way. So I want to introduce a few warriors, if I could, please. And Congress out, I'm leaving again on the internet and thanking him, and I love him and all the stuff, or her. But you know, it's always tricky, but I know these are people that are here, and I want to just thank them for joining us. Your great Lieutenant Governor, who's really great, Burt Jones. And his father is here. You know, his father's a legend he's a legend, literally, in Georgia, as an incredible politician. And then he left. He didn't lose. He left, and he went into business, and he's been tremendously successful. He really is a legend. His name is Bill Jones. Does anybody know Bill Jones? Bill? Where is Bill? Good. I saw him backstage. He's fantastic. Representative Mike Collins. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Where is the preacher that was back there talking to me? Where is he? Huh? He went with your father. Oh, your father's smart. I always said that. Stays with those preachers. Rick Allen and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank you, Rick. Thanks, Rick. Great job, Rick. Thank you, Marjorie. You know, I've known Marjorie from the beginning, and she's an amazing political person. I don't like to say politician. She's beyond that. She's really loved and respected by so many people. And in Washington, when she calls, they get very nervous. Oh, please. She's fantastic. So I thank you both for being here. Appreciate it. And a future congressman, he'll be one of your best. He's been with me for 8 years. And you know, he always wanted to be a congressman. Then his district opened up, and he said, "Do you think I could do it?" I said, "You have my complete and total endorsement." Brian Jack. Brian Jack. Great guy. He's going to be a great congressman. And it's what he wanted to be. And he's fantastic. You guys are going to love Brian, right, Marjorie? You're gonna... Also, we alluded to him and talked about him, but I'm going to talk about him very positively. He was really a great senator. He was a great man in so many different ways. He was respected more than anybody. I mean, everybody respected him in Washington. Very successful businessman that he ran for office, a little bit like the Trump schedule of events. But he was really a fantastic person in Washington, somebody that I was very close to, David Perdue. David, thank you. Doug Collins, will you stand up? Come on. How good was this guy? That's fantastic. See, I'm glad I spotted him. I would have been in big trouble if I didn't mention him. I'm glad. You know, they give me a few names. Who the hell writes these lists out? These people, somebody's getting me in big trouble. It wasn't that way when I had Brian Jack doing this, I'll tell you. I got lucky. And I see somebody that I know very well, one of the truly great members of the Martin Luther King family, one of the greats. Will you please stand up? I didn't see you. My friend from the beginning, I would have been in such trouble. If I didn't mention you, I would have been in big trouble. Thank you, darling. One of the truly great people. And been with us from the very beginning, I would say, right? Very beginning. Thank you, darling. Boy, am I glad I'm looking over this audience. I don't like this. I'm telling you, this would not have happened if Brian Jack were doing it, which he did for many years. Agriculture Commissioner has done a fantastic job. Tyler Harper. Tyler, thank you very much. Fantastic. Thank you. And John King, Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner. John, thank you. Great job, John. Labor Commissioner Bruce Thompson. Bruce? Thank you, Bruce. Public Service Commissioners, Bubba. I love Bubba McDonald. I love that name. I want to change my name. And Fitz Johnson. Thank you both. Thank you both. And Alveda. Good. They did have your name down, Alveda. I would have been in trouble if I didn't pick, but I picked it even with. And Richard Wood, Superintendent of Schools, who I hear does a great job. Richard, thank you. Thank you, Richard. Pastor Benny Tate of the Rock Springs Church. Benny, thank you. Bernie Carrick. Does anybody know Bernie Carrick? Where's Bernie? Stand up, Bernie. He's the cleanest man in this room. You know that. Bernie's a great guy. He was a great commissioner in New York. He's a fantastic man. A well-known local artist with a beautiful painting, Art Lanta. Where is Art? Oh, wow. That is beautiful. I wasn't going to bring him up. Then I saw the painting. I said, come on up, because maybe he'll give it to me. Wow. Come on up. That's okay. Is that good? Wow. All right, thank you very much. Wow, that's fantastic. Wow. Whoa. Good. That's a real artist. I brought him up because I thought he was going to give it to me. He didn't give it to me. He just got me to sign it. I got nothing out of that. Hey, Michaela, I know you spoke. Just come up for a second. Come on. This young woman, I walked into, I don't know what the hell restaurant it was, but I walked into this restaurant, and we do it very quietly. We don't announce it. That's for, you know, security reasons, everything. I walked in. She's behind the counter, and she didn't know I was coming. And she goes, it's President Trump. She looks at me. It's President Trump. You saved my college. And I said, how the hell do you know that? She said, you are, this one is so smart, so sharp. She grabbed me. She gave me a kiss. I said, I think I'm never going back home to the First Lady.
You were supposed to keep that quiet.
See, now, for the average politician, that's death. For me, I don't care. I just want to tell you, you are an unbelievable person with a great personality. You lit up the whole room. You lit up the whole room. I said, weeks later, I'd go, who is that person that was so incredible? She knew everything about me. She had no idea I was coming. She knew everything about me. And you know, the historically black colleges and universities, I gave millions and millions, billions of dollars to. They kept coming back, and I said, why are you doing this? And we gave them long-term funding. And she knew that because she said her college, which was, she loved her college. She said it was so great, right? You loved it.
The illustrious CAU.
Yeah, that's right. She loved her college, and she said, you saved my college. What was your college? Tell them.
The illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
And it was so impressive, and I felt so good, because she really did. She really said, I said, did you like the college? She said, no, I loved that school. I loved that college, and that's what it's all about. But you are an incredible person. I think you have a tremendous future. I really do. And I'll do whatever I can to help you, okay? Thank you, Dad. Thank you very much. Great job. You want to say something else?
Man, you know, I thought I was done. But I do want to add on to some of the remarks that were made by others, and we do need to do our best to get the message out there. The fight is nothing if all we do is talk about it amongst ourselves. So with that being said, since you said you'd help me, shameless plug, if y'all need anybody to knock doors, make phone calls, wave signs, get people people out to the polls, call me at Conserve the Culture. Because not only do I mobilize the HBCU students so that they may get this message, but I'm the best person when it comes to black engagement in the black community. And nobody needs this message more than my folks. So do y'all care for real? Are y'all with us for real? ConserveTheCulture.com for any and all inquiries. Y'all can follow me at Miss Kayla, baby. I'm going to give it back to Big T. And last thing, make sure you guys tune in to my podcast dropping soon on the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
She's great. Thank you. That's a great person, great woman. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. From the moment we take back the White House from Kamala and Crooked Joe, and he's crooked as a $4 bill, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. Thanks to Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote here in Atlanta, you suffered the highest inflation of any city in the country last year. Good job, Governor. Great job, Governor. Under Kamala, the typical Georgia family has lost $28,000 in inflation and to inflation hikes. To bring down the prices of all goods, we will stop the Biden-Harris war on American energy. American energy is such a big deal. We will drill, baby, drill. We'll get that number down. We'll bring energy prices down. Everything else will float with it. We will terminate the Green New Scam, and I will end the Biden-Harris electric vehicle mandate right on day one. It will be ended. We will pass massive tax cuts for workers, and that includes no tax on tips, Michaela. To further protect Georgia workers, I will revoke China's most favored nation's trade status. I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. If China or any other country makes us pay a 100 or 200% tariff, we will make them pay a reciprocal tariff of 100 or 200% right back. You heard us, we heard you. It's an eye for an eye. We'll take in a fortune, and they'll stop doing it before I even arrive at the Oval Office shortly after we win the presidency. I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and I will prevent, and I'm the only one that's going to do it, 100% will prevent World War III, which is very close to happening. I will restore peace through strength, and in my next term, we will build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our country. A dome like none other, like nobody has ever seen before, and it will all be made in the USA, and much of it will be made in the great state of Georgia. And I will not cut 1 cent from Social Security or Medicare. I kept that promise 4 years ago, and I will keep it again. And seniors will not pay taxes on Social Security. We are going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope, safety, and beauty better than they have ever been before. We will take over the horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C., and clean it up, renovate it, rebuild our capital city so there's no longer a nightmare of murder and crime. We're going to stop the murder and crime. You go down from your state, you end up getting mugged, murdered in our capital. It'll be run tough and strong by our great police officers, but rather, we will become the most beautiful capital anywhere in the world. I could say again, but it's been so badly run for so long, I almost don't want to say again. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the shoulders of our children. And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And I will keep men out of women's sports, if that's okay. If Kamala Harris gets in, the travesty that is taking place at the Paris Olympics will come to America when we host the Los Angeles Olympics. And by the way, which I was president, we happened to get it. I was the president. I also got you a thing called the World Cup, which is coming very soon. I might as well say it myself because nobody else will say it. But I got them both, and you're going to have a lot of fun with it, I hope. Harris is a radical trans activist, and she is the candidate of letting men beat up women in the name of tolerance. But you look at what's happening over in Paris, it will never happen here. I will never let it happen. I will get all males off your daughter's soccer teams and volleyball teams and get them out of your locker rooms once and for all. That's going to be cleaned up, and we will fight to make sure that the LA Olympics protects women and protects girls. I will fully uphold the Second Amendment, and we will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech in our country. We don't have free speech any longer. And very importantly, I will, and this is so, to me, so important, what we've been through in this country, I will secure our elections. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and voter ID. But until then, Republicans must win. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. Too big to rig. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day, do whatever you want, but you have to vote. And if you want to help us ensure election integrity, please sign up, protectthevote.com, protectthevote.com. So, in conclusion, from Marietta to Macon, from Savannah to Columbus, from Augusta to right here in Atlanta, we inherit the legacy of red-blooded American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up those great, big, beautiful skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, lost its willpower, and lost its strength. We are a nation that has lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With our leadership, every disaster Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have created can be fixed, and it will be fixed very quickly. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be roaring back. It's going to be roaring back. Optimism will be surging. The American dream will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the worst administration in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past. And our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the one shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of our country. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Georgia. God bless you all. Go out and vote. God bless you all. Thank you.
There you have it, folks. President Trump live in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to do a quick recap. And then I think what we'll do is talk about some other news and things. And I may continue this on and talk about news, or I might take a break and then start a live stream up later on tonight to talk about more. So thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate that. Follow me on X if you're over there. We'll be doing a lot tonight, in the future, etc. So it's a good time. If you're not on X, it's pretty much the place where you could catch all of the stuff before it even hits the mainstream. That's where these journalists are, by the way. They're on X. A lot of their sources, a lot of their information that they find comes from there. There's still some real journalism out there, but check it out. Trump is leaving the stage over there in Atlanta, Georgia. We just watched his entire speech. That was wonderful. Vance introducing him. Trump highlighting how important it is that they win Georgia. Yeah, you guys remember Candace Taylor and all these individuals from Georgia and what they went through last cycle. My goodness. Thank you again all for tuning in. Good to see you. Good to see you all. If you see anything that you want to discuss, tag me on X and it'll hit me. It'll be here in my face. So I appreciate that. Let's talk about some of this stuff. So we have some breaking news real quick that I want to highlight, if I may. Shout out to Nick Sorter for posting this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen it so quick. One moment as I pull that up here. I've got a lot going. Let's see here. One moment. Hey, Jonathan. Good to see you, Jonathan Marsh. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support. VIP, right? VIP in the house. Yeah, thank you to the VIP members over on YouTube. I really appreciate you all for your support. All right. Yeah, so here it is. Thank you, Nick Sorter. By the way, if you're not following Nick, go check his profile out on X at Nick Sorter. That's NickSortor. He writes, just in. Judge Chutkan has denied President Trump's motion to dismiss the case against him after SCOTUS ruled Trump has immunity. This is just another case of election interference, he writes, quote, the Biden-Harris DOJ is simply trying to wrap Trump up in the courtroom and keep him off the campaign trail. Despicable. And he posted the memorandum opinion here on that breaking story. Let's check out some a highlight or two from tonight's speech with Trump and JD Vance. Trump never fails to crack me up, man. He said some very interesting things, which we'll talk about. But first, let's watch this clip. Trump talking about Joe Biden here. Absolutely interesting, to say the least. Check this out.
We took it away from the guy, right? I don't feel sorry for him because he's a bad guy. You know, he's weaponized the whole thing, and nobody's ever done that in this country. But he's a bad guy. But people feel sorry for him. They did a coup. He just doesn't know it.
Wow.
But actually, he does know it. You know that. They said, Joe, you got 14 million votes. It's yours, but you're going to give it up. You're going to give it up right now, Joe. You're giving it up right now. No, I'm not. I was elected democratically. I was elected. No, you're giving it up, Joe. We're either going to do it the nice way or the hard way, Joe. You're getting the hell out. And it was the debate performance. So here's what happened in the debate. You know, we went there. It was the highest rated. We took.
Wow. An interesting allegation from Trump there. Of course, we're going to see the reaction. People saying Trump is lying. Of course, we're going to see that, right? But interesting things nonetheless, alleging making some allegations against Biden there. Here is Trump again on Fani Willis in Atlanta. Check this out.
Pronounce it Fani. It's called Fanny. You have to pronounce Fani. I don't know how she gets. She should add a little U in there someplace if she wants people to call her. No, her and her lover, right? Lover boy Wade.
Nickname.
She hired him because of experience. Paid him almost $1 million a year for experience. He's got great experience. He never did a thing like this in his life. He knew nothing about it. The only thing he knew about was something else. He knew about that. That's all he knew about. He didn't pronounce it Fani. It's called Fanny. You have to pronounce Fani.
Trump on Fani. I didn't know it was pronounced Fani. I mean, people argue about the pronunciation of all kinds of things these days, names and whatnot. My goodness. Wow. It was cool that he showed that painting of the historic image of him. Who knows who took that picture, by the way? July 13th. Do you guys know who took that photograph? July 19th. You should check that out. But the painting of that historic image, he came up and displayed. Let's see if I could find that real quick so I could show you. Yeah, because it was a beautiful moment. Here it is. Let's watch this. It was such a heartwarming moment, and Trump is such a laugher and a joker here. It's so good to see some positivity amidst what is going on around the world. We've got wars and elections and coups and all kinds of crazy things going on. So check this out, guys. There it is. I'll pause it here. Trump with his fist up in the air, the flag draped in the background. This is from July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Is that
good? It is very good. I love art. He signs it actually here, which is very cool.
Thank you very much.
Pretending to run off with the painting. I think Trump wants to hang that thing up. Maybe he'll get it. Here he goes, signing it. It's so cool. Very cool. Very cool. He jokes after that saying, I thought he was going to give it to me, but he just ran off with it, had me sign it, just kind of laughing and joking. It's very, very funny. Like I said, it's good to see a positive attitude when it's not a whole lot of great things going on. But, we got to keep our chin up and go into the future. Thank you again. Keep true. It's my world. Jonathan, Sue, everybody else tuning in live across the internet, X, everywhere. I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you for sharing this, reposting it, liking, following, subscribing, and hitting the bell notifications on YouTube, hitting the bell notifications on X. So when I do go live, if you're available, you could stop in and say hello. I appreciate that. These things are a lot of fun, and I appreciate all of your support and for tuning in and joining me. Let's look at a couple more things here. While we're here, why not, right? So let's listen. I'll just tell you guys some of the things that Trump said. Of course, he's notorious for his nicknames. He talked about Little Brian Kemp. He says, Little Brian Kemp, bad guy. And he went on about Brian Kemp. He also says, quote, now we have two things that we have to do. We have to vote, and we have to make sure we stop them from cheating because they cheat like dogs, Trump said today in Atlanta, Georgia. Donald Trump also said, while discussing Joe Biden, Trump said, quote, he's sleepy, he's crooked, he's incompetent, he's dumb, and she's worse. And he's talking about Kamala Harris being worse. Darn interruptions. Testing. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a 5-5 if you can hear me. 5-5, can you hear me? Sorry about that, folks. Donald Trump also, pardon me, Donald Trump also jabbed Kamala Harris. He does trolling, right? You'll hear in my outro, it's trolling. We do a little trolling, Trump says. And he said, quote, Willie Brown knows more about Kamala Harris than anyone. Oh my gosh. If you know, you know. The allegations there and the perception of some people when it comes to that. The truth of the matter, though, I guess is up for debate, but that's what we do. We look at all the facts and whatnot, and we talk about it amongst each other. So that's why I love y'all. Trump, oh my goodness. What else did he say? Donald Trump today, quote, they want to sign these people up to vote, unquote. He's talking about illegal immigrants and the open border. He continued saying, quote, if they do that, this country is destroyed. We are becoming a dumping ground for the entire world. We're not going to take it anymore. One thing that really caught me off guard, I didn't expect him to say it. I hadn't heard him say this before. Have you guys heard Trump talk about this? He said he was talking about the media and whatnot. And he said, quote, they use the word brainwashing. You ever heard that word brainwashing? And he talked about how the media says things over and over again. And he was talking about Kamala Harris being accused of allegedly being the border czar. A lot of clips have come out where that did happen. We talked about it when it did, but the narrative kind of is that she never was the border czar. She's not responsible for the border. And that's kind of how I'm seeing it. What do you guys think on that? But Trump said they call it they use the word brainwashing, which I found interesting. Let me know what y'all think on that one. I thought that was probably a big highlight. I'll talk about that more for sure in the future. I'm sure, I guarantee it. He also says he talked about the police and law and order a little bit tonight in Atlanta, and he said, quote, I have the endorsement of virtually every police organization in the United States, and he does. He says, quote, we will overfund the police if we have to, and quote, your governor ought to get off his behind and do something about it. He said ass. Your governor ought to get off his ass and do something about it. Yeah. Talking about crime, horrible crime. Georgia's seen it. All of these main big cities in all states have seen a large increase. Thank you, Dutchin. It's just horrendous, the crime situation in the country. Some people show concern over Trump and the law and order aspect, and they say that hopefully it doesn't get too out of hand with like law enforcement overstepping the boundaries of the law in some way. Some people are actually concerned on the left and right of that. You know, the whole Trump is a tyrant narrative runs rampant in the world. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that for sure. Without a doubt. All right, let me go here to my notes. Check this out. By the way, Kamala Harris is the presumptive nominee, presidential nominee in the upcoming election. They had a virtual vote. Of course, Trump accuses them of a coup. Again, he said, of course, Joe Biden's not aware of it. Actually, he is aware of it, blah, blah, blah. That's what Trump was saying. Interesting to see that. Kamala said she was proud that she's been nominated, etc. Or I'm paraphrasing, something along those lines. We also have Trump and Kamala going back and forth on this debate situation. Trump says that it's right here. Kamala Harris doesn't have the mental capacity to do a real debate against me, Trump said on Truth Social, also saying, quote, scheduled for September 4th, the debate. in Pennsylvania. She's afraid to do it. He also said, quote, "I'll see her on September 4th or I won't see her at all." Kamala Harris responded. There's kind of a back and forth right here. I don't know if they're going to come together and hold a debate together or what, but we'll just have to wait and see. It seems like there's a little bit of conflict between the two candidates right now. Thank you, Keep True. Thank you. So we'll just wait and see, folks. We will wait and see. There's rumors. There are rumors that the 25th is in discussion. That is something that could be utilized to remove the sitting president, and there's rumors that that's being discussed, and that was starting to happen late last night. Just so you know, I don't know. Do you guys think we'll see a 25th Amendment come in? I think we do have a clip from Joe. Let me see if the sound on this is okay. If not, I'll find another clip. But this was, I believe, yesterday, and yeah, so this is Joe Biden on August 3rd talking about the 25th, answering a question from a reporter. Check it out.
Hours before you announced that you were going to be leaving the 2024 race, can you talk to us a little bit about how important it was for you to get this deal done, knowing that you were not going to seek a second term? Was it very important?
I still get it done even if I was seeking a second term. I'm still, you're stuck with me as president for a while, kid. There's no way out, okay? You got me for at least another 100 or 90 days or so.
Wow.
So it didn't have anything to do with that. It had to do with the opportunity and trying to convince one last country to say, okay, they'll step up.
He got pretty angry with that question from the media, which, you know, I mean, some people have pointed out that they're not satisfied with the reasons given as to why Joe Biden won't run for president this election. And Kamala has become the nominee pretty much overnight in this radical shift. And Trump talked about that a little bit today in his speech in Atlanta. He said, you know, a few weeks ago, Kamala was just being trampled in the media. And then overnight, the tune has changed. And it goes back to what Trump said. They use the word brainwashing, and they repeat. It's just, anyway, so there's rumors that the 25th is being talked about. The reason, as far as I understand, as to why Biden stepped down is because he wants what's best for the country, and that means stepping down and not running. So that's what I understand the reasoning be. Media's pressing, saying, well, if he's not going to run, is it because he's not competent, and is he competent to even be in office now? I don't know if we're going to see the Democrats push this 25th thing forward or what, but it's a potential possibility depending on the facts of the matter and what happens in DC. We're going to watch it closely. I think this is going to be coming back up. That's the 25th Amendment. We'll see, though, because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen, and I think it depends on a lot of factors. So we're just going to keep our eye on the situation. Anyway, we have some news on Hunter Biden. Actually, I want to play this clip again because he gets pretty angry. Let's watch real quick.
Before you announced that you were going to be leaving the 2024 race, can you talk to us a little bit about how important it was for you to get this deal done, knowing that you were not going to seek a second term? Was it very important?
I still get it done even if I was seeking a second term. You're stuck with me as president for a while, kid. There's no way out, okay? You got me for at least another 100 or 90 days or so. So it didn't have anything to do with that.
He says, you're stuck with me. He called the reporter kid. That was pretty intense. Like I said, we got some news on Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is to be sentenced on November 13th in just over, when is November 13th? A few months. So Hunter Biden will be sentenced November 13th. That's a while away, but this is because of those alleged gun charges. I guess it's not alleged at this point, but that's what that's over. In the clip that we just watched, Biden being questioned on, completing something, they were talking about the hostage negotiation with Russia, which is very interesting. Trump talked about it tonight as well, saying it's good to see hostages released, but that if there was some kind of bad deal made, I'm paraphrasing, if there was some kind of bad deal made or money exchange or something, that it sets a very bad precedent for the future. And Trump, of course, highlights his deals where no money is exchanged and he gets things done. He's a really good negotiator, actually, when you look at the things that happen. So he's not wrong. CJAG 1K says creepy. It's a weird video for sure. I agree. It is weird. And I hate using that word, but it is. I don't know what else to say. Weird is in the narrative now. That's the word. Onward. Let me take a quick look here, see what we're going to get into next. Yeah, as I mentioned, Kamala Harris said she's honored to be the Democratic presidential nominee after a virtual nomination. She has the votes. They're saying it's her 100%. It's over. Even everything's pretty much pointing to that, like 99% certainty. So, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people are calling it a coup, including Trump, but that's where we're at here. I don't know what to do. Harris says that she'll be there at the September 10th debate, like he agreed to, talking about Trump. I hope to see him there. Meanwhile, Trump is saying earlier that he wants to have it earlier with Fox because he can't do that debate because of ongoing legal battles. So him and Harris can't come to terms on it right now. We'll see what happens. And of course, in the media, the fingers being pointed back and forth. You turn on one channel and they're saying Trump is scared to debate Kamala Harris. You turn it to another channel and they're saying Kamala Harris is scared to debate Trump. We look at the facts of the matter is, and it's like a clown show. That's what it is, right? Right or wrong? Is this a clown show? Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We're going to look at a couple more things here. Game Tech Politics came out and talked about Kamala Harris being the Trojan horse. We've heard Vivek Ramaswamy talk about a Trojan horse theory, and he implied that it could be in the Republican Party. Other people like Alex Jones have talked about various other Trojan horses, which is something that appears to be good that actually ends up being a trap, essentially, is what a Trojan horse is. Now, Game Tech came out last night and said that Kamala is the Trojan horse. And my understanding of this is basically Kamala is going to be outlined as the savior of America. She's going to be perceived and pushed to be perceived as the peace president, the great negotiator, the great uniter of our country, the everything great to solve any problem we have, the border problem solver. All of these issues, they're going to say Kamala's the one. Some people are going to think that's the case. The Trojan horse theory goes, though, once, if, and when Kamala Harris is ever elected, or whatever happens, that she'll go back on all those things and none of it's going to happen. And we're going to be in a horrible, horrible position. Like Trump said today, it's not going to be good if this doesn't go well. He basically says America's done for, basically, is his position on it. Onward, we have a lot of things happening globally as far as war goes. And I really mean globally, from Russia, Ukraine to Israel, Iran, other Middle Eastern countries, Canada, the US, military movements, China, Taiwan, you name it, North Korea, South Korea, all of these things, Japan, are something I want to talk about later tonight. Okay, so turn on your notifications because we're going to talk about that tonight. We also have a lot of financial shenanigans going on that I want to talk about. In addition, I want to talk about my pinned post on X. If you want to check that out, follow me on X at ReadyF4Any, and there's a lot of interesting information there. I held a space on X last night where we discussed this in detail. Thank you to those who tuned into that. We had a good 50, 60 people all in there hanging out and discussing these things that I want to touch on again tonight in my live stream. So turn on your notifications. Follow me on X. Follow me on YouTube. If you're not supporting me over there, you could become a VIP member. And you can also support me on X if you so choose. But even just tuning in interacting, sharing your thoughts and opinions is entertaining, supportive, and fun. So I appreciate everybody out there who laughs and jokes on X and shares your things with me. And let's keep it going here throughout the weekend. I'll do some lives. I'll post some content here or there. So if you see it, check it out, repost it. If you have anything of yours you want me to see, if you have a space on X that you're hosting and you want me to come join you and hang out, send it to me. You could DM me on X. That's a good way to contact me. You could simply tag me on X. That's another good way. And we could, help each other out, share information, talk to each other, look at all the breaking news together, and just continue moving forward, y'all. This is going to be a wild year. So just be patient, stay positive, and we're going to get through this. We're also, you guys, later on tonight, just give me like a couple hours. I want to talk about the Secret Service, the sniper team, the radios, and the latest on the January 13th assassination attempt on Trump and just what we now know and how that's going. So tune in later tonight. See you all there. Take care. God bless and God speed.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
'24 may be the year of a black swan event.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.